All right. We're here with Zacama, Primal Calamity. I love the guy, think he's pretty cool, so we're going to try him out. Obviously, we're doing something that is not typical other than ramp spells with Zacama, that being something closer to my red-green Klothys list. Klothys list, if you are familiar or watch those videos. So it's kind of like a red-green storm thing, but I like what the white provides with sweepers, just making it really difficult for our creature-based matchups to be problematic. Also, we still do have Klothys in here, so that's pretty cool. I shouldn't say still do. We have Klothys in here. It's not like this is an old list or anything. So yeah, we're kind of just doing value stuff, drawing cards, discarding cards, ramping into some sort of value win. Like you can Chandra out your control opponent, you can sweep out your excuse me, your creature-based opponents, and then you can maybe storm out the rest of it. I had what's it called, Grape Shot in here for a second, but just like the Klothys list, it didn't seem like it was ever super relevant. Sometimes it killed like a planeswalker or two, but I never felt like I was actually closing the game out with it. Banefire, there was a couple games where I had Banefire or top decked it, and it was like one short. So I want to try Banefiring out somebody. I don't think I've actually killed anyone with Banefire, but I've come very close. Other than that, I don't think there's much to say. I'm heavy on naturalized effects. In fact, the only thing permanent type we're sort of loose to is planeswalkers, I believe. We have Hype Train. Oh, the resub. Thank you. Volkmar. Anyways, we have some answers to planeswalkers. I really do like Blitz. It's better than I thought now that I realize it can attack planeswalkers. This is kind of one of those cards where if it could go face, it would be insane because it would probably do like 20 damage or something for 2 mana. But it can't do that. We're running all the regrowth effects, like Balagit Recovery, literally Regrowth. And there's a third one as well. Don't know if I wound up putting it in. It's one of the Choose One cards from D&D. The D&D Adventure. Looks like I didn't put it in. You put 2 basics to your hand, or you make like a treasure token or something like that, I think. But we're not running that one for now. I'm just feeling good about all the sweepers. And yeah, I am running a good amount of lands. All right, there's 39 lands, so we shouldn't get screwed over. Initially, I had more white cards than red, or at least I thought I did, but apparently I don't, so we're flipping that. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Zacama's kind of a backup plan. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Is the volume right? The volume's right. All right. Anyways, like, comment, and please do a subscribe. It validates my existence, and I will love you forever. And let's play some Magic the Gathering. Immortal Sun? There's just Chandra, so I could run Immortal Sun. That is a kind of a blanket, I said blanket answer to planeswalkers. That is true. That is true, and I do like running it when I have a few planeswalkers, but for now I'm more on the storm thing. Answering what my opponent is doing kind of comes second for me. In fact, we might not even have to worry about this. We do have an answer to it with this. We have all the mana we need, double ramp. This is kind of everything you're asking for when you're playing Zacama. Ornithopter? What? Oh, that's spicy. Yeah, you can Ornithopter to trigger this. Oh, that's kind of cool. I did not do that when I was running it. They don't have a 2-mana play. That's kind of interesting. It has to be a counterspell. I was about to say, you always feel good when your opponent counters a ramp spell, because I unanimously think it's never a good idea, especially when you're not closing the game out anytime soon. Okay, we're gonna cast a ramp spell. Probably get 2 red sources here. Yeah, this just makes sense there. Whoop whoop. Zacama is a crowd favorite. Yeah, you're not wrong. Unfortunately, he has to enter the battlefield. He's not in Eldrazi, so untapping your stuff on cast is not what he does. And I don't expect him to resolve, nor do I expect myself to realistically attempt to really go for casting him. This could be a tough matchup, though. They only have one blue source, but they're willing to leave it up, so I guess I'll just sort of punish them by not doing anything counter-worthy, or counter-spell-worthy. Okay. Well, they knew I could recast it, so that's interesting. I guess I'll play this. No, I don't want to play a creature because there's a chance, Wait, what? Oh, they have Pact of Negation? They had something left up on double black that is not being left up with... Huh. Okay. I guess we get rid of 2 ramp spells? It doesn't seem like a big deal. That's weird. Immortal Sun would obviously be pretty good in this matchup specifically, but we don't have it. I don't know if I can respect playing around. I mean, I guess I can. Yeah, alright. So we'll do this, see if it deals with the board. I'm sure it will. There's nothing on 1 blue that deals with anything. Yep. And we can technically find something here, but I guess I'll just hold it. My opponent's hand is weird. Oh, please don't be Spectral Sailor. Okay. Thank goodness. They just plus because they can't obviously attack this turn. Wonder? Okay, so all the creatures have flying. It looks like they're more in on the ninja thing, which I've never been a fan of personally. I don't really think there's enough ninjutsu cards to pull that off. Also, I don't think it's the best way to go about doing what it is my opponent is trying to do. So we can try to cast Zacama. It probably won't resolve, but it's not the end of the world if it doesn't, right? I think it's better than any other thing I can do, so I'll just try to cast it. But I don't think it's going to resolve. My opponent's been holding stuff up this whole game. Yep. It really sucks to get hit by Censor, but it is what it is. What does this do when it hits me? Nothing. They seem light on lands for being able to draw so many cards. Okay. I also don't really agree with tapping this low. Well. Just tapping out when you... I don't know. Seems kind of weird. Alright, well, there's obviously another counterspell or something. Let's loot away a land. Draw for turn. I don't like either of these cards. Let's see if we can find something better. This doesn't really have any targets worth targeting, so I'm going to get rid of that. And Balagate Recovery is only picking up... Actually, I do like Balagate Recovery. I think it will get countered. I don't think I need this ramp spell. I'd like to play a land for the turn. Let's see if we can pick this up and do something with it. 1, 2, 3. We can cast it, so they have to counter this. Or they could just literally counter this side of it, which makes even more sense. Oh, wow. I am baffled that that resolved. I will play a land. Red. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need an untapped source to... Is there any reason to do this? It puts a card in the graveyard. That's fine. Oh, it's a Mizzix Mastery. No. No. Oh. Alright, so we'll never do that again. Oh, it would have been good, too, because they tapped out. Oh, no. No, why? It's not fair. Untapped land? Well, okay. Alright, so let's just do some lightning bolt. Yes, it worked. It still did the thing. Plan B. Plan B, point 2, because we had to do it twice. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, every time Zacama just wins, it always feels great. It always feels great. And it's cool that Zacama does have... I usually don't play the same commander twice unless I have like enough cards where I feel like I can pull it off in a different way. And with like enough unique cards that is different from a different version. I think Zacama is ample in that department. It's funny, we only drew one sweeper that game, and we have like a bajillion. Sweepers are pretty good against this. In fact, I usually end up winning against Vadrik when they don't stick Vadrik. With that being said, I don't actually like this hand. I like this hand 10 times more. Klothys is insane in the matchup as well, because I can attack their graveyard. Turn 1 Brainstorm makes no sense to me. You should wait unless you have a turn 2 play that demands an untapped land like a Mana Rock. So you can next turn play untapped land Mana Rock. But turn 1 Brainstorm is usually a bad idea. But we'll see. We have 2 sweepers in hand. Alright. Whatever they're holding up is castable at sorcery speed. I'm not afraid of counter spells. Countering ramp spells, again, is never where you want to be as a counterspell based deck, like ever. So that's kind of nice to see. Next turn, we're probably going to ramp with Beanstalk. I'm not going to cast Klothys. It's not really doing much. And I'm sure they're just going to snap off Vadrik because their deck doesn't do anything except this. Yep. So we get a Plains. I can attack my opponent with this, but I'm just going to do this here. It makes sense to cast this if you don't think it's going to be useful later, but I think it probably will. I am Zacama. The annoying part is just fighting through an army of counterspells. It's not impossible, though. It's really not impossible to do that. That also just does it on its own. I guess I'll do this one first because it is damage-based. So the Doomscar can kill it no matter how big it gets. That was horrible. That was probably the best thing they could have done. I need an untapped land to deal with Vadrik now. It also isn't a permanent answer to it. That almost is. I mean, I'm going to keep trying. It's not like I have a choice. I have nothing else to do. They also have no problem just recasting it, so it's kind of reasonable to let this resolve and just recast Vadrik. But they deem it worthy to keep it in play, I guess. I'm 5 or more countered, so I have to have 1 land. I need 1 land to main fire this to kill it, guaranteed. But that doesn't get me out of this situation, really. That is not an answer. I'm going to cast this, see what happens. The fact that they're not doing anything makes me think it's all counter spells, which is not very scary because it doesn't close the game out. Okay. Not going to Banefire for 1. They probably should have Memorialed on their own turn. It's not like they couldn't leave up mana. Oh, no, I guess there isn't much of a reason. They should have done it in response to Klothys, though. Crawling Barrens is an issue, because now we're at a Brawl point where they just... What? What? Okay. I guess. That is a thing you can do, sure. Crawling Barrens will probably attack Chandra when I cast it. They didn't cast the Giant. I don't know why. Is there any reason to eat... No, not... Is there any reason to eat a land is the question. I don't think so. Let's just eat Brainstorm. And then cast an uncounterable answer to the board. Sort of. It actually doesn't really answer the board at all. Yeah, this is kind of dumb. I don't think we're going to beat this. Are we dead? We're not quite dead, but whatever. That's just dumb. They just infinite counter spells, basically playing against Brawl with red, and that's all that mattered. We had a solid avenue to victory, but they had exactly the amount of counter spells needed. And they also found a way to successfully counter an uncounterable spell, so... No red. No, we have red. We have red. What is this? Whenever you cast a creature spell, creature. Alright, well, you know what we're all about. Alright, there's 10 sweepers in our deck. How likely is it we draw? What, it's like a 12% chance we draw a sweeper with any given draw step? Do we keep this hand or we just find one? I think it just... Oh, come on! Come on. Oh, it's a 6-mana one. Yes! Were they mulliganing the whole time? I wasn't looking. Were they mulliganing with me and they're like, alright, screw this? They kept their 7. I mulliganed to 5 there, or 4? Okay. That's wicked funny. Okay. Oh, turn 0 win on a mull to 4. I mean, we take those. We always take those. Alright, Kaikar is like a weird... I don't know, the Kaikar can be like 2 different things. It's a 3/3. We have a... Yeah, we'll just keep this because we can just... And let's play a forest. There's a lot of double white, kind of concerns me, but... It is what it is, I guess. I almost want to pitch Search for Glory. There's not a lot of targets for this card. This thing is like 2 or 3. Klothys and Chandra, which seem just good enough, usually, so... We can dump these 2. Excuse me. We can always pick them up with a regrowth later. I would just like to guarantee I hit some form of white mana at some point, or just get rid of the white cards. Let's see if they have a counterspell. Nope. They have like their 2 best lands though, that's funny. Okay. Is there any reason to pick up Cathartic Reunion? I think so. We can cast it and get rid of some of what's going on in our hand here, which we're not terribly excited about. They have no counterspell, which is kind of crazy. Let's get rid of some lands. Play this on green or red. I think green? No, we'll do red. We can also do... We can choose later with this. Seems decent. Dr. Clockworks followed me an hour ago? Huh. Well, thanks for the follow. Can't say I expected that one. A day late and $1 short. Alright, so this is red. If we find an untapped land, we can Abrade immediately. If we don't, I don't think we're totally screwed, so I think it's still worth it to just attempt this card. Looks like we hit it. That's really nice. Just play that, and then Abrade. I haven't really seen a lot of Kaikar lists. It's usually Hanada as your Jeskai creature-based weird thing. Kaikar is different. I guess we just cast Approach because it forces out a counterspell. So you can play a land. Can I play this and then Approach? No, I can't. Alright, I'll just attempt to Approach. If they counter this, I think that's fine. Yeah. Because it's not our primary win condition. And we'll Banefire for 0. So it goes to the graveyard and not exiled forever. I also... I don't pick up any information on that one. People just like casting Brainstorm. I'm so picky with when I cast it. I just don't like when my opponent's casting it. Okay, this makes me think they're more controlling than before, but we haven't seen a payoff for them being a control deck in any way yet. This is not doing much now. Our hand is not doing much. Let's look for things. Let's just pitch the Mana Rock. It seems less likely to be useful. That's good when the board is empty. Now, Shark Typhoon is really the only card that's an issue here. Let's hope they don't have it. Tails ending my trigger would be kind of annoying. They don't have that. Alright, so anything but Shark Typhoon. Literally anything ever that's not Shark Typhoon. Okay. That is fine. Alright, so there's no land into Agent of Treachery. That is not in this game anymore. Transmogrify. Alright, so it's some weird combo deck. This does not work with Chandra in play. I can simply kill it. I actually have a way to kill it from hand as well, but I think I'm going to take the safe route and attempt to kill it on board with an onboard answer. Looks like it just worked there. I can attempt to Zacama as well. Wow, that just untapped? Wow. Huh. Okay. That just happened. Alright, let's get a Snow Land. And then I don't care about this gaining them 2 life. And I think I'll keep my whole hand as is. Yeah, I'm not going to play a land to hope I get more value from Zacama. Zacama in play is usually good enough. So leaving up a Naturalize seems better. Or just gaining life. That might be useless though. Sunset Revelry, sure. It's like the timely reinforcements, but at like 2 mana. Well, can Lightning Bolt whatever you do here. You can't Transmogrify. Yeah, this is destroy X permanent creatures, each permanent blah blah blah. Okay, so we kill both of these so they don't get anything. And we're the only one to get something out of this? It's kind of weird. And then Zacama goes back to the command zone. We got a Springbloom Druid. Okay. I guess I'll eat my forest for a mountain in another forest. That's funny. And we still have Chandra. Having these, like, really... If you want, like, a universal answer to something your opponent's doing, like if they're a control deck, a universal answer to an archetype, it's nice to have it be something like that. Alright, we're going to Balagate Recovery Approach, mainly because I want to win with this card for once in my life. I know, I'm tapping out with Zacama, but I just want to win with Approach. Yes! Another cool thing about Chandra specifically is it attacks your opponent at an angle that might be incredibly difficult for them to ever deal with. And they have to deal with the board while also being concerned about approach, even though it might not realistically happen. It's still something they have to keep in mind and worry about. God, I love it. In fact, I would shuffle approach right there. If I had a ramp spell, I would just shuffle it away. Just for the chance to draw it right off the top. Oh, spicy. Alright, so we don't have a sweeper. Well, we kind of do. It's just big green cards, so the white sweepers are the best. We haven't really hit them that often, which is kind of crazy. There are so many... Like, every white card in the deck is a sweeper. We're just not hitting them. But this card, this hand is just too good to pass up, so... Too good. Not going to Faithless Looting early. I like my whole hand. Opponent has blown me a kiss as Loco the Oko. That's weird. They had to like actually go over, click it, and then go back to hello. This person is on their P's and Q's. Colorless ramp. That's spicy. Okay. Alright, they'll blow me another kiss. Does this person know me? They watch my content? Who are you? You gonna be in my DMs tomorrow? What's going on? This can blow up lands, but it's really just to ramp. And I think I'm going to do that now on my forest. Get 2 red sources. Alright, so Star of Extinction looks good again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They do not cast Azusa. That's really, really, really weird. Is there anything we can learn from that? Not quite. Let's just do this. That's another sweeper. I want to keep all the lands in my hand. This might be useless. It looks good now, but I have an answer to that already. Dealing 5 against the rest of what this deck does is kind of a better idea. Abrade also doesn't seem terribly exciting, so let's do that. And there's no reason not to just flash this back. Actually, we can just do this here on a plains, because we have another plains in hand. Get a forest, maybe double forest? Yeah, that seems fine. Alright, so Star of Extinction hopefully is good enough. Hey, Bastius, what up? The new pet? You still haven't seen the board in Brawl? The new board? Oh, I guess I haven't either. I don't keep up with the news of the game. I just play the game. I don't keep up with news. Like every time I fire the game up, I'm like, oh, look at this card got nerfed. I didn't know. Okay, they did the thing that they wanted to do, but we're not going to cast Star of Extinction on a board like this. There's just a bunch of 1/1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So specifically, Crater Hoof kills us. Specifically. But I'm not going to respect that card. Did I just play a land? I probably shouldn't have done that first. Alright, we get rid of these two. Play out the ramp spell on, I think, red. Yeah, we're mostly a red-green deck, so that's fine. Nothing to do with Underworld Breach. This can cast a sweeper later as well, which is nice, but Vorniclix is kind of the scariest thing, damage-wise. Well, I guess literally Crater Hoof kills me, but... Oh my god, they actually had Vorniclix. They actually had Vorniclix. Look at that. That's funny. Like, it's probably the second scariest thing because it's immediate damage, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Alright, let's blow up a green source here. Doesn't really matter which one. I'll play this as a land, I think, just to get closer to Zacama. Oh, they're saucing me with the raccoon. Is there anything that I can say to them that isn't BM? Not really. I'm not going to BM them. I need more emotes, dude. I don't have non-BM emotes. They're all BM. Every emote's BM. You can say hello, turn 0, and someone's like, wow, my opponent's toxic. It's just, you can't get around it. Let's be real. Finale for 4, not a big deal. Probably Oracle of Moldiah. Oh my god, I'm so smart. Land into second land, because why wouldn't they? Oh, there's a third land too. That was a really good draw. I'm not even going to Zacama. We're just going to go whoop, and then whoop, and then whoop. Ooh. We don't want to get rid of that. Alright, fine. We'll just trade off so they can't do what they just did again. A problem with not casting Wrath there, or Day of Judgment, is they just hold on to whatever they're... Like, they just don't cast anything because they know that's coming. So, there's no reason to hold it. Deny value off the top. That's the other Vorniclix. Kind of annoying. Untap. This is an taps land for men. Doesn't untap during control. Untap step. So, I can still Zacama. Yep. Let's put a stop here and then do this. I'm going to kill Vorniclix. So we only tap 2 of our lands. And then I go white into red. And then I take the stop off. Untap all of them and then just a few stay tapped. So we double Lightning Bolt. So we go there. Yep, that doesn't untap. That's fine. And then another 3. So now the rest of it does untap. That's fine. And then we can be kind of careful here. No, actually, no, this is still fine because we sort of offset this by getting treasure tokens. Because those lands that I did just tap don't untap. And we can pass. How do you deal with this, opponent? Ulamog is kind of annoying. 5, and they're not there yet. That is different. They probably shouldn't... Oh, they do swing with it. It fights? Alright, so I have to deal with that in a sweeping fashion. And I don't want to tap any of my mana because it will not untap on my next turn. Okay, well, that's really, really, really good for them. In fact, that probably just won the game. Ward 10? Does it always have Ward 10? I can breach And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. Day of Judgment. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I have to deal with that. But then I'm dead to Lair of the Hydra. I'll force my opponent to do it, though. So we'll do this. Cast this. Maybe they don't see it. I don't know. They probably see it, though. Good old Manlands. If they mouse over it, I'm scooping. Whatever. My opponent had 2 haste threats in a mono green deck, and there's only 3 in the entire game, so whatever. They also hit 2 lands exactly off of Oracle on whatever for 4, so I don't know. It is what it is. Sometimes you can't beat the winning lottery ticket. How many cards are how many creatures have haste in here? I actually would like to know. How many reasonable cards have haste in Azusa? Maybe this. It's kind of overkill with Azusa, but, you know, I guess you could expect it. You have this, and you have Vorniclix. And my opponent had 2 of the biggest ones. They probably were running Questing Beast. But, yeah, they literally had 2 of the 3 reasonably to be expected giant green haste threats. If it didn't have haste, we wouldn't have had a problem. But they had double haste threat, so... And the only way they could cast the second one is if they high rolled off of Oracle to get 2 lands. So, not much I can do about that. Can't beat that. Can't beat the winning bingo card. Ramp into a sweeper, but it's Yurion. If it's a blink deck, sweepers are good. If it's not, they're not great. But we'll keep this. It's fine. Yeah, perfect Vorniclix, perfect second Vorniclix. Alright, this is already white, so what do we want? We want green or red? Our hand is more green than red, but our deck is more red than green. We also don't need double green, like ever, and Harrow would just fix that anyways. I've always been a fan of running, like, a ton of basics and a ton of ramp spells. When I play... I already said hello. When I play, competitive EDH on, like, Cockatrice, no one expects the deck with, like, 35 basics. Running Ruination. No one expects it, dude. Alright, so we're going to Harrow here. Let's play this untapped. We're going to respect a ramp... Actually, you know what's a good idea is to run this out? If they are not a ramp deck... If they're not a control deck, this is not great. But if they are, it is good. So I'll just put it in play now. If it's a blink deck, then we're fine as well because we have sweepers and stuff to deal with the board. I did not in any way expect that. That also makes it so I don't really know what's going on still. Thank God we drew an untapped source. Let's get a red and probably a white. Yeah, we really only need like 1 green source to just cast our stuff. They're also willing to run this out knowing Zacama exists, so they have an answer for Zacama the turn I go for it, I imagine. Otherwise, it's kind of... Alright, so it is a blink deck. So less on counter spells means Zacama's good, which means dealing with this is better. Still not board wipe worthy in my onions. Let's do this. Get a forest. Sack the forest to get a red and white. Beanstalk Giant is also a thick boy. I am just going to play my land. I'm just going to play it. We are like half an actual ramp spell. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, no, I was about to say I probably should play the tap land, but we have 9 mana. We can cast Zacama. Now, if our opponent doesn't do anything, we don't really have to do anything either. This isn't enough pressure for me to pull the trigger. Five, 6 mana. Opponent is at an impasse. Do you play more into Zacama, or do you leave up a counterspell so you don't lose? If you push Shift Enter, it auto yields everything instead of just whenever you have priority. I like to Shift Enter a lot. I think I can afford to have this get countered, so they don't have it. They also don't have a spot removal spell. Alright, so we're gonna literally do nothing except play this in Valakut's Awakening. And pass. We can activate Zacama whenever we want. It's not like I have to do it now. I'm surprised how many times we've got Zacama to resolve. That's crazy. Yeah, Blade Splicer is kind of cool with Yorion. Very old school. Like, I think original... Yeah, I was about to say, if this resolved, they probably... they just can't play to the board. Oh, yes. 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 But, yeah, it was a part of the Birthing Pod package, I think, originally, right? You like make the token, you could sack either the 3 for a 4 or the 0 for a 1. I think it was originally in Blade Splicer, but I can't quite. Originally in oh geez, I was about to say Batterskull. Birthing Pod. I still think the best list you made was God Pod. God Pod was the that was hilarious because I hadn't seen it anywhere else ever. Like it just, and then you played God Pod, and I started playing God Pod after and Cockatrice too, and people just just can't handle it. You just like, oh, hey, look, it's my 8th demigod of revenge, and then you just sort of die. It was really funny. Nobody expects God Pod. I still think that's the best way to play it too. This is great. No one expects it. I'm sure there's a degenerate combo, but no one expects it. Gigantha, but Niv Mizzet. What is Gigantha specifically? The weird thing? Okay, so... yeah, it was Xenagos, Demigod of Revenge. Okay, we can explore here. Certainly going to do red. Alright, less decisions the better. Let's do that. And then I like my whole hand, so I'm not going to do anything. I really like my hand. I mean, there's still an argument to cast this, because liking your hand means the 2 cards off the top you might like less. And you'll just get rid of those. Alright, let's go get our snow land. I'm not running every snow land, I'm just running this one. This should be red-green, not red-white. I'm going to change that if I remember. I probably won't remember, but if I do. Alright, that's a lot of lands. You can go away, and you can go away. Anything that makes me have to think can go away. The pathways. Oh, right, I forgot to say, we're running a ton of untapped lands, because we don't... Our color fixing basically comes from ramp spells, and they come early enough, and if you only need 1 green source to do that, you could, in theory, run 20 forests, and then 5 of each of the other basics, and be good. If you can avoid tap lands, you should, and this whole deck is basically untapped, which is very, very nice. I'd like to blow this up. Do they get a land if I blow up in an... Is it destroyed this way? They do get a basic, so I can't really blow this up and have a feel-good advantage over it. So I'm going to blow up my own land, and that will probably be this Plains. What? Oh my god. Yep, and then red. Probably. I need a lot of red mana for what we're trying to do here. I'll cast you, cast you. The problem with Niv Mizzet is they don't care if it dies. It's kind of irritating. I think we can pitch Blitz and a land. This one's a little bit worse. Alright, I can sweep their commander next turn. You don't even remember how God Pod worked other than potting Demigod? Shadow More Deities? Yeah. And then it was Xenagos, and there was something else in the deck too. I can't remember what it was. We're going to pay for that. If my opponent's willing to take a whole turn to cast this, I'm going to take a whole turn to just pay for it. Enters tapped. Red. Green. Let's blow up a mountain. Get a plains and a mountain. What's nice about this is they can't counter it until till it resolves, right? So I don't lose the land first. Okay. We haven't really gotten crazy Underworld breach value yet. But we might do a little bit more discard draw so I can get some value. Like just draw discard over and over to incur value with Underworld Breach, because currently we're not really in that market. They didn't cast Niv-Mizzet, so their hand must just be a bunch of answers to what I could do otherwise. Yep, looks like that is the case. This is an instant right now. Pay, because I'm not casting Zacama. Nothing to Balagate Recovery. There's also really nothing to do, so I guess I'm just passing the turn. I can explore. Actually, you know what? Let's, what do they do here? What do you do here? Oh, it's my Smothering Tithe. That's what's going on. Alright, so Explore just got worse then. Yeah. Alright, well, we can still do this. Land. I can just cast a ramp spell a couple of times. I'm not opposed to that. I'm going to be kind of crazy to counter this. And I can... How many more times? I can only do it like one more time. I think it's fine giving them at least one treasure token. If I wind up having the cards... No, I don't. I don't have the cards to do it again. Let's just get another land. It lets me cast Zacama more than once before I'm out of gas. Alright, that wasn't terrible. Kind of a weird value under the breach, but we just got lands. I'm not going to give them treasures. I don't want to. Especially with Niv-Mizzet, because they do like to go to discard sometimes, because they draw too many. And that could be problematic. They also have basic lands, so blowing up their stuff with Dire Strain was a good idea to not do that. All right, that was the other card they got from us. Not really all that scary, which is nice. We can pay for this and still cast Zacama, so I guess I will. Again, I don't really care if Zacama dies. I'll put a stop here. Let's see what happens. Shoot, it didn't let me... I took it off because I thought there was a counterspell or something. Alright, well, I mean, if it dies, it dies. It's fine. Just sort of gain some life, blow up their stuff. It's fine. Reset le board. Oh, wow, they didn't. Okay. Interesting. They could have, but they didn't. Alright, we're going to see if this messes them up in any way by blowing this up now. And I'll see if they like manually tap for specific colors. They do not. Alright, that's fine. I will let the scry resolve before I go to blow that up. Scry on top. I wonder if they can just beat Zacama and they think it's fine to let it just sit there. Okay. I cannot lightning bolt that. It's kind of annoying. But again, the only thing we're sort of super weak to is Planeswalkers, which is really annoying, but it is what it is. Can still hose the board a bit here. We can recast Zacama and they can't minus again, but Planeswalkers are quite annoying for us, let me tell you. There's an argument of blowing up Lantern before the untap. There is, that's true. It wound up not mattering because they left with one mana untapped. So I found it wound up being fine. We did find an answer to this. That's quite nice. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Hey, I didn't cast the comma first. Ooh. I didn't cast the comma. Whoops. Alright, well, I'm going to just Balagate Recovery Underworld Breach so I can potentially rip apart later. What does this do? This is a battlefield for each color. I'm actually just going to pick up Smothering Tithe because there's a chance this gives me enough treasure tokens to continuously cast Zacama, But obviously, Zacama should have been in play. I cast Rip Apart first. I untap all my mana when I cast this first. That was a mistake. I just got excited because I drew an answer to a Planeswalker. It's not a ton in my deck. So that was a whoops. Alright, so we're feeling the burn now. We're not feeling the burn anymore. My opponent made the worst decision possible. We are not upset about this in any way. That is quite surprising to me. We'll get rid of one of these sweepers. Run out Smothering Tithe. I'll play a land because, again, you never know when I might have to cast a comma again and again and again. I cannot believe they did not just plus Teferi. Treasure Token for me seems quite... They seem extremely threatened by this. Maybe they're used to 4-player Commander. The only reason it's in here is because I think people are too scared of this card. Currently, it seems to be the case. Although, with that in mind, people tend to make the right decision anyways, because now they're forced to realize that it is not a big deal. But sometimes they don't. I don't know. It's weird. People are weird. They paid for both, so they have to have an answer to Zacama. Otherwise, this doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, they have to have an answer. Probably a spot removal spell. Not much I can do about it. Teferi's an issue here, but all Planeswalkers tend to be. Alright, well, I'll just gain life. It's not like I'm doing anything else. I'm not leaving up mana for anything, so... Life gain is probably irrelevant. Let's see, they untap. Is there a reason to gain more, or do I just... No, we're just getting more. There's no flash nonsense. We'll just do this. Really wish I had Veil of Summer for like half the games we've played so far. I think I'll lead with the... I think we lead with an attack. I don't know why they let me untap first. Why did you let me untap first? I don't understand. Why didn't you just kill it on your own turn? I'm not gonna do anything. They keep mousing over stuff. I'm not doing nothing. It's on you. They just not have an answer to this? What? What? Whoa. Oh, Sinister. Choices typically suck if opponent is good. Yeah. Yeah. If your opponent is attentive, they tend to not be the best. And Smothering Tithe is also not great in a 2-player game. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do this for 7. Play around a soft counter. Actually, we can just do it for 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5. Leave up a Zacama activation. If we leave up Zacama, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Leave up a excuse me, leave up a Zacama activation this way. Yeah. That's fine. This probably doesn't even seem counter-worthy. I feel like I've done things way scarier than this. I don't think this is... What? Okay. What was the other mode? I guess it was nothing. Alright. Well, I mean, I'm going to cast it instead of Zacama. They still want to pay for it? It's not doing anything. Ah, it's driving me crazy. It's not doing anything. I have no cards in hand. Well, I have one, but I have infinite mana. Just give me treasure tokens. It's fine. Just literally give me treasure tokens. It's totally fine. The world will move on. All right, what did you get? I'm not going to look at the revealed. I'm just going to look at what they get. Any answer to Zacama? Nope. All right, my opponent is vehemently threatened by... obscenely threatened by Smothering Tithe. I can't wrap my head around it. All right. All right, you got it. All right, so we're going to We're going to swing. We're going to swing here. I will cast the Guardian Idol. Do I care about... The only issue with these two is just card advantage, but I can't do anything about them. Let's just run out Guardian Idol and pass, because a Begin Anew is useless. Is this a creature-based Zacama deck? Ha! Ha ha! 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 That's a good one. I like that. That's... We got a jokester in chat. That's good. I like that. Creature-based Zacama deck. What do you think I am? Who do you think I am? Who do you think I'd be? Okay. Looks like they didn't get anything worth casting, so they're just going to do both. Get an army of nonsense. None of this is actually relevant, which is kind of crazy. Their hand is irrelevant, and the entire, like, 9 they just exiled are irrelevant, except, I guess, maybe Uro. Yeah, this was really good for us. We also just get to simply kill that. I'll kill it before they get the token. Yeah, let's just whoop. Yep, there's your treasure token. I think I'm going to blow up the treasure token, because it is basically free to do so. You've been on fire with these creature-based decks? Yeah, I know. The past couple days I have actually done creature-based decks, so I understand. But, no. No. We're doing like what I did with Klothys, basically. No matter what I do, this is going to die, and I'd rather leave up mana to... Do I double bolt this? Do I double bolt this? Hold on. What do they got here? Treasure tokens, artifact, horde, root part, Klothys. I think I'm going to swing. I'm just going to swing, let it just be, because I think they're going to block. Yeah. And that's fine. It's fine. It's only another, what, 6 damage. It's not crazy. I'll keep this in hand. No, we will actually play this. We will play this on red. And then pass. Because my opponent's not going to cast Niv Mizzet again. They're going to cast this stuff. Given how my opponent has played, it's pretty safe to ascertain they're going to do the most greedy value-centric line, and I think I can beat the most greedy-centric value line. Yeah, they're going to play Klothys to exile Smothering Time. That's stupid. Oh, that's stupid. You know, that's the safest. If we follow the line, if we follow the consistent logical line, that's not, you're not off. You're not off. All right, so we lose. Zacama goes to hand. We pitch this. We get to recast it. Let's gain a bunch of life. Oh, they get to discard it. Oh, but that's fine, though. That's fine. Because it goes to the command zone. All right, gain a bunch of life. Yada, yada, yada. Yep, hand, pitch, Begin Anew, because it's kind of useless, and this forces them to cast Thought Eraser instead of Uro, because they can cast Uro now, but they might just Thought Eraser instead. Ugh. Inevitability of it as a house. Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, it's hard to say that when you're not playing against Scythus or Brawl. If you're playing against Brawl all the time, that's just not true. But that tends to not be... Wait, undo. Alright, we have to... Let's just think about this here. Just do it this way, I guess. I don't want it to tap my mana rocks. Let's do that. And then I can regrowth... Rip Apart? That seems useless. I can regrowth Underworld Breach to spam... I can't spam this. I don't have a card in hand. I can cast Smothering Tithe. I can also just cast Nylea's Intervention for a lot of lands. Is that reasonable? What else am I doing? It gets a bunch of lands out of my deck, which is not a bad idea. I think I'm going to do that here. Oh, wait, we can just actually pick up Nylea's Intervention. We don't have to Underworld Breach it. Yeah, I think this is reasonable, so I don't have to... Alright, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so we'll do it for 13. Ay, ay, ay. We'll do it for 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, we'll just do it for 10. Yeah, that's fine. Boseiju. Anything to get cards out of my deck seems like a good idea. Just gum my whole hand up full of nonsense. Is there anything I can do with 2 mana? Not really. Let's just play Fabled Passage to thin our deck even further. It's fine. My favorite card in Commander is what's it called? Boundless Realms. Oh, dude, they didn't eat it. They didn't eat Smothering Tithe. They ate Nylea's Intervention, so at least they didn't give it much thought. They just targeted it the first thing on the list. But we have kind of lucked out that they haven't hit like a hard answer to Zacama. They needed to like bounce and discard it because their hand is not very good. They can't blink Uro. It'll just die. Alright, so now they have enough stuff in play to block, but not terribly scary. Alright, they got Iteration and... Oh, they got triple blue-red card. Oh my god, that's crazy. Which one do you keep? Iteration, probably? Top 4, revealing instant sorcery. Oh, this one's probably better. Yeah, I like this one. Probably been the rest. They only got 1 card off of a Niv Mizzet. That is insane. That's insane. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Double bolt Uro. Doesn't matter which one I bolt twice at all, actually, because they either block with the other one or they don't. I guess it does matter, because if I don't attack, if I don't kill Uro, they can swing with it and draw a card. And this isn't a lethal in 2 swings, so I'm fine with just letting them do this if I want to. I can afford to play an untapped land, so I don't have to worry about making any sort of mistake, and we'll pass. Alright, Klothys, what are you eating this time? Oh, there goes the breach. Okay. We're at 39. All lands in hand. They can cast Uro like 5 more times, so we're kind of ways away from dealing with that forever. Teferi, but the blink one. Okay. We can just kill that with Guardian Idol, hopefully? But there's never, you never know. There's a chance we don't get to pull that off. We get to recast Zacama without tapping all our mana. Because we get to just pick it up here. And, yep. Niv Mizzet again. Okay. D-Spark, that's an issue. Kavu is just a 2-mana 5/5. I don't have any respect for the card. Rampage is an issue. Ashiok's kind of annoying. Alright, so they've pulled ahead again. Pulled way ahead. Third Niv Mizzet cast was decent. They've actually seen more cards. There's less cards in their deck than there are in mine. That's crazy. Nylea's Intervention for like 10 was... just didn't do it. That was actually a really good draw. Okay. See what happens here. Oh, I should have pitched a land they knew about. That was a bit of a mistake there. Alright, we don't have anything to copy with Increasing Vengeance, unfortunately. Let's cast you. How much mana do we have? Okay, so I can cast Klothys first. Then I can cast this. Let's put a stop. Do this. Float red and red. And then let this resolve. My opponent's been begging to cast something when I go to cast this. So, yeah, alright, there we go. Yep. And from here, I think they take the game over. Don't know if I can come back from here. We're at 48, but I don't know. I mean, we can attack their... I don't know. I need to draw something spicy. I'm glad I did thin my deck of 10 lands, though. That was probably a good idea. Could have gone a little bit deeper as well, but we just didn't. But it might not matter. We have time, but just... Life total is like the least relevant resource, usually. You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. 6 mana, yep. 2/2, fine. But like I said at the start, our weakest point is just attacking planeswalkers. Just like our weakest point. So every time we're up against 5-color super friends, which is probably not too often, we are in a heap of trouble. I can cast this and then have 3 mana to instantly use it, and then it dies to Despark. I don't have much of a choice, because the rest of my hand is useless. We get to untap our lands regardless, but get to blow up a 2/2, which doesn't feel terribly exciting. Oh wow, they let this resolve. I don't know why they did that. That's kind of weird. They should have Desparked it first. Well, if I knew they were going to do that, I would have played out my... Alright. I mean, yeah, I would have done different things. That's really weird. I don't understand. Guess I cast this. Get rid of something. Why did they let me do that? Still drawn lands. Oh boy. Still drawn lands. Is Banefire live? That's true. I think it might still be live. Alright, so our opponent desparked it like the worst time. Uro's the biggest issue because it draws cards without having to spend mana. The life gain isn't terribly relevant, but I mean, if Banefire isn't out, then we should respect it. I can actually just bolt both of them. Guess I will. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I shouldn't have been able to do this. This is very strange. They should have desparked in response to the trigger. They did not. It's kind of weird. I can go again. Let's see. Is it worth bolting this? Sacking the treasures? I think it is, just because... yeah, just because I want to. Just because I want to. Can't naturalize Klothys. It's indestructible. Not really a big deal, though. Take action. Yep. Alright, Zacama can be cast again quite easily. And if our opponent's letting it resolve and untap, I don't think we're too upset. But again, it's really just Planeswalkers being an issue. Just Planeswalkers. I'm going to keep killing Niv because it still can kill me with damage. And it gives me windows where I'm able to do things because my opponent seems to be interested in recasting it, which taps them out. Which lets me respect counterspells and stuff. So I'm interested in killing it over and over. I also don't think it's terribly relevant to kill it or not. I don't think the value they may or may not get from it dictates the outcome of this game. What did they get this time? Binding and K command. Okay, binding's an issue, but they already had enough. And they also at this point have enough cards in hand to constantly deal with the only card I'm posing a threat with. So it doesn't matter if I go for this or not. But this is an example where I can literally cast Zacama and they can't counter it, which means I get instant value if they're interested in constantly tapping out to cast Niv Mizzet. Let's see here. Do I need a land? I gotta do math. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 20 mana. This costs 17, so I have untapped land. 17 is 21. I have 4. Untap the rest of it. I have 21 minus 2, which is 19. So 4 plus 19. 23. Okay, I don't have to eat a land here. I don't have to eat a land. Just doing napkin math. I can copy this and just scry sometimes. It seems stupid, though. Yeah, we don't have a choice. We're going to just cast a combo. So, whoop. And then red, red, red. Little shortcut there. Put the stop there, and then unclick the stop so you're not stuck locked in place. Oh, I forgot to play a land first. Hey, ooh. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Alright, so let's kill Uro again so they don't draw a bunch of cards and gain a bunch of life. Banefire is still a decent out. And the rest of what they've got going on isn't terribly scary. Let's play land. I will do this just to scry and thin my deck of nonsense. It's useless, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cast it again. I'm not going to copy it. And copy Banefire. This could wind up being important. This could be important, but I think we can keep dealing with the board with Zacama instead. So we're just going to do that. We go to 1 life because of the Vraska ultimate. Are we dead here? Oh, we might just be dead. It might not have mattered at all, actually. Vraska ultimate puts us to 1. We can kill one of their threats and... Oh, we can't block anything. Yeah, we're just dead. I'll force them to target Zacama first. Doesn't really matter, though. Yep, they got us. If I didn't... You know what? If I didn't cast that ramp spell, I could have bolted both of their threats and not died to Vraska ultimate. So I did have a avenue to see another turn there. Yep. That's annoying. But again, like I said, nothing matters if I can't deal with Planeswalkers, and they just had Planeswalkers going left and right, so... You can't outrace the life gain? Well. Alright, I can use the bathroom. I have to use bathroom. Hopefully we don't get paired against nonsense while I'm away. Text me if we do. You think I'd get banned on Twitch if I just showed up and I forgot to like pull my pants back up? You think I'd just get banned? Like, Twitch, please, you can't. I didn't mean to. Okay, mono red nonsense. I guess we keep it because it's got a sweeper. It was the most nonsense. You texted him. It was. Alright, everyone deserves a hello still. Oh, you literally texted me. I went to go for my phone like, oh shoot, someone texted me. Oh, this guy's got jokes. Well, it's going to keep vibrating, so let me... It's Cranko lol. That's not funny. Alright, so let's play this. I think I have to swords this because it like kills me instantly. Can wait till they cast something though. Oh jeez. Herald's Horn, naming red. Oh my god. Oh wait, this is the creature one, naming goblin. Gobbo. Whoop. Alright, so Cranko costs 5 now. Whoop-de-doo. Alright, I don't really have a lot of options here. We're just this, this. Pitch our Mizzix Mastery. Actually, ooh, maybe Mizzix Mastery is good because it's a second sweeper, and I don't think we're going to get any other kind of value out of it. In fact, I might discard this to the Celestius. I don't know. Poggers IRL friends, yeah. I didn't bring my phone to the bathroom though. Rip. Oh no, there goes my Celestius when they go to what? No. There's no way. What? You just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it was my 9th mana. It was my 9th mana. All right, I'm not gonna ostracize them. I'm not gonna be mad now. That makes sense. All right, so Chandra's another sweeper, and I think that's all that matters. This gains me life slowly. That might actually be relevant as well. We do already have 2 board wipes. Klothys can survive hasting goblins. Yeah, it looks weird. I think Klothys makes sense. I can also cast it immediately, which is nice. I can just gain life. But our opponent set this board state up. I cannot believe they did that. That's crazy. I don't know if Zacama was so good for us that that was worth it. Well, maybe it was. I guess I can blow these up, and they can't cast this because it costs 6. Yeah, all right. I guess it makes... Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. No. We can also Mizzix's Mastery for Chandra. That's a sweeper, quote unquote, of its own. Muxus is 4 though. Toughness. Chandra does 3 damage. Mizzix's Mastery for literally nothing else that's relevant. So I guess we just pass and hope Klothys can. All right, we're doing the Klothys thing. We're just doing Klothys control currently. Gain enough life to not die by goblins while at the same time not die by goblins. Now they draw. They can still cast Cranko. There's not a ton of things that kill me out of nowhere. That's another Planeswalker, which we really hate to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Need a land. Didn't get it. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can eat a land. Also, Klothys lets us guarantee Zacama this turn because we can eat a land and cast Zacama. Yes! Yes! Oh, we beat Mono Red. Yes! We beat Mono Red with a Planeswalker, too. I meant to look at the battlefield. I didn't mean to pass. Sweet. Easy. Easy. Yeah, Cranko is probably better in the command zone because there's a pretty decent chance Muxus does not incur a ton of value. He also costs 6 mana, which is not indicative of an aggressive strategy. Other than Godo in regular EDH, because Godo wins when he resolves. You just get the equipment, put it on him, and then he just swings and you get like infinite attacks or whatever. But they did not have Godo. This is 3 mana Domri. A sweeper. All we need is 1 land and we're good. So I think this is fine. We just need 1 land, and there's over 30 in the deck, so... Hey, easy. Cultivate for double. Plainsy Wainsy. Ooh. There's no reason to cycle. Opponent appears to have either Lightning Bolt or Shock or something of the sort. We'll find out real quick. We can avoid the minus on this, and then the rest of it isn't really scary because it's not the Riot one, which gives haste to everything. So I'm not really scared of anything their commander can do here except give them 1 land, but we're ramping ourselves, obviously way faster. Yep, we can play a 5-drop. The only thing we don't want to see is like... is that... Why am I bumping into everyone running Planeswalkers? How come I'm not like playing against people that just don't have a million Planeswalkers? Can that just not be reality? It's just like constantly happening to us. We're playing against so many decks that have so many Planeswalkers. Like it's actually insane. And this gives haste to itself because of course it does. Ugh. 4, 5... Are we dead? No, we're not dead. We're not dead, so I guess I'll stay in the game. I don't know. We go to 4. And then we go to 3 because... No, the Domri plus the plus kills us, so we have to find a way to gain life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spoils. Alright, so we have to go here. We have to find something that gains life of some kind. That is not it. Sweep the board. Domri's +1 to the 3/3 land. Kills us at 4. Wow, whatever. Whatever. Sorry, my bad. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot the Domri Rad commander was not going to play any creatures. my bad. Oh, if we had Fumigate. Oh, we had Fumigate. We gained 4, not die, whatever. All you play is a Sword Brawl? You hate Nissa? No, I don't hate Nissa. I don't hate Nissa. This is a cool card. The only thing I don't like about it is it does apply a reasonable amount of pressure. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm really thinking about it, I don't think there's anything wrong with Nissa. I don't think so. Because on 5, there's a lot of cards that quote unquote double your mana, right? There's a blue there's a green-white enchantment. Whenever you tap a land, it taps for double, which is arguably harder to deal with in a Planeswalker. There's a lot of things at 5 mana that just basically double your mana. Now, they're a red and green deck, so they're not doubling all of their mana, but it's still enough that they probably feel fine. This is black. This is like basically a control list. It's like the closest thing to things I tend to play without being me. That's not like blue. Because it's all removal, which means Zacama is not reliable, but it also means I'm not under immense pressure, so I can kind of keep a hand like this, and I will. Nissa ruined the game? Is there something that Nissa did that I don't know? Dude, what? Was Nissa bombing citizens? What did I miss? What do I not understand? This is really not. This is fine. This is fine. I don't understand. I know get. Send help. Alright, we need a green source if we're going to cast this, or anything green. On a green source, cast this to guarantee another green source here, and then double green is good enough for the rest of the game, probably. And we'll pass. And she was fine in standard, and as a commander, she is weaker than Azusa. Azusa just plays lands, and those lands come in earlier than 5. Like on turn 2 or 3, because turn 2 you can have a mana dork of some kind. It doesn't seem. It's not that crazy. It really isn't that crazy. Because on turn 2 or 3, Azusa just plays lands. That is basically an uncounterable means of... Oh, I don't have another green. Ooh. Can't double up on my stuff. Oh, I double tapped green? Did I... Really? I double tapped green. Whatever. Stupid card. But anyways, I think Azusa's better for ramp into nonsense if you're mono green. I think it's better in every single way. And, wait, what? Oh, I held Shift Enter. I held Shift Enter, so I didn't get to eat it. Wow, I can't believe I did that. That's never happened to me. I Shift Entered, so I didn't get to eat my Mind Stone in response. Wow. I'm, like, embarrassed. I can't believe I did that. That is insane. I cannot believe I just did that. Alright, I apologize. Just wasn't paying attention. I didn't expect... I wasn't registering the situation. I did not in any way expect them to do that. That's actually kind of obtuse. Okay. Oh, no, you got me. I shifted entered, so I couldn't. I had mass auto yield. I couldn't respond to the activation. I thought they were going to continue to pressure me. I mean, they lost half their board pressure to just blow up a Mind Stone. It doesn't even stop Zacama at a reasonable degree, so it just made no sense to do that. But I couldn't capitalize or punish on it. Oh, that's my bad. But anyways, back to Nissa. I don't think this is all that great. Okay, we can respond to this and keep the other treasure token because they can't blow up the other treasure token. Opponent is doing what I think is correct in that's a good game. What? Oh, they're just scooping to this. Really? Yeah, alright. So that makes sense. What they were doing that game was denying my ability to cast Zacama because they probably assumed they can't realistically beat it. But that's not true. What they can do, because, again, they're basically black-green control, or the rock, whatever, they have infinite removal. Zacama will never be able to untap my own stuff at sorcery speed. They can always kill this before I'm able to do it, and I'll probably never realistically be able to kill their commander. But we have board sweepers to deal with the board, so the only thing they can realistically do in this entire matchup is play Planeswalkers. Or manlands that I might struggle to deal with. And with those two factors in mind, I would not scoop here. What you can do is let me sweep the board with Zacama. You kill Zacama, you pass, and then I might cast it again and again, but you can continuously kill it until you find something that kills me. So far, my opponent might think I'm also doing something else that is not just this, like creature-based, and they scoop to that. The idea that I have so many threats in my deck, they can't answer them, but I don't. Kind of weird. Kind of weird scoop there. I would argue they scooped on the assessment that I am a creature-based Zacama deck, which is probably what everyone does, and I'm not doing it, which gave us the advantage there. But if they are going to scoop to the creature-based Zacama strategy, it doesn't matter if I am getting them good with a non-creature-based Zacama strategy, because they scooped regardless. Obviously, if they were sniping me or something, but yeah, I don't know. Kind of an early concession. I think if they can find a Planeswalker that's really good there, and I'm sure they have a couple, we're in a bit of a pickle, but they just scooped. Because Zacama's not reliable. They have infinite removal. They're probably running like 45 to 55 removal spells. Something like that. 35 to 45 removal spells or something. But we'll take it. Cool. I would not scoop. In fact, that is exactly where black-green decks want to be. If you're not comfortable in that situation, you probably shouldn't play black-green decks. Huatle. 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 I love Huatle. Alright, we have the Klothys control hand here. We have double sweeper into what is basically turn your brain off, play tokens. So let's do it. Yeah. We have one white source. We kind of need a second one. Well, we found it with the Beanstalk Giant. What was I saying about mana fixing? Oh yeah, you don't have to play mana fixing tap lands when you have ramp spells. If you are green, a massive... What does this do? Cost 2 less if there are... What? No lands in your hand. Wow. What? Huh. Wait a minute. This seems like the Beasley card of all Beasley cards. Because I play, like, commander decks with 20 lands. This is insane. 2 mana 2/3 that gets you a land that goes into play? Oh my god. What have I done? Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. Alright, so we're going to get another plains, just in case we lose access to our mana rock. And pass. Wow. Yeah, that's a card. And, of course, they drew a land. Apparently, they just drew a land. because they didn't have one in. Oh, it's another card that's going to upset me, isn't it? Yep, it's another card that's going to put me on tilt every game. All right. Moving on. Let's play that, play this, pass. Wally isn't terribly terrifying, right? I only swept there because they had something that draws cards. I obviously don't want to deal with that. All right. Card advantage. Yes. 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 Let's play. It doesn't matter which one. We'll do this, then our deck, and then I'll blow up my own land, and then even further. Let's get a forest, and then eat the forest to then in turn get a forest and a mountain. Because we are like a ramp-based deck, but again, the green is just to fix in ramp into the red and white, kind of, quote-unquote. Which is kind of cool about this deck. I do like that. Alright, second threat. Come on. Cast something else. That's not a land. Come on. Come on. You top deck a land last turn. Didn't have any land. Ooh, March for 3. Spicy. Alright, so we get a huge sweeper here. Dummy thick. And then we get to cast Klothys, and then we get to cast Rejuvenator. Get the D. Crack off one of these planes. Oh no! Oh, I thought it was the other one. I thought it was the one that eats a basic to get 2 basics. We whiffed 2. That's unfortunate. I said this last time. If this card ever whiffs for me, I'm gonna take it out of my deck. So it's not long for this world. I'm going to get rid of it right now. I'm going to swing for 1, which deals 0 damage. And then I'm going to... I kind of want a Zacama now, but... Wait a minute. This happened last time. Just cast Zacama because you can still do whatever else you were going to do, because it untaps your lands. Learn L2P. Alright. But the ramp spell in question whiffed, and I said the first time it whiffs, it comes out of the deck. So I said that from a deck prior. I didn't say it this time. But still applicable. We are taking that card out of our deck. I'm not running Rejuvenator. If it ever whiffs, You know what's really funny? I run decks with like 5 less lands on average than the average person. And I get punished for it a lot, which I don't... I think I'm just getting unlucky, which is, again, probably my bias. The one game I have, like, 42 lands in my deck, I whiff on a Rejuvenator. So I'm going to take it out. Ramp spell... I mean, honestly, we could really go for anything. It's never been like that card is make or break in the deck. I kind of want another draw discard. Shalai was one of the first cards I had in here, but Shalai kind of just dies. So protecting Zacama isn't terribly relevant. At least it hasn't been so far. Immortal Sun? We don't, again, this is the issue. This is the primary issue of the deck. If it wasn't for Planeswalkers, Zacama would be a very, very, very good commander. Very good. But Planeswalkers are like your crux. I guess, and sweepers and removal spells for Zacama. But if you're not like a creature-based deck, then you can kind of hedge against that. But Immortal Sun doesn't make sense. It is a 6-minute card, but it is colorless. I do like it. I'd put it in like the top 5 cards that I would put in right now. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's pretty good though. Because Ulamog is also very good. Actually, Ulamog is so good I might drop a sweeper for it. I think Farewell can go. The Graveyard Hate is fine, but honestly, by that logic, we can pitch anything. The only card I crafted for this deck was this, because it's kind of like a white ramp spell. You can pitch the land you get. Excuse me. You can pitch the land, and then like return the land to the battlefield, and then still play land. Like you search the land, pitch the land, play the land, the plains, which is kind of weird, but it's cool, especially in white. You don't really see that often. It's like Birth of Melodis on steroids. But I do, now that I'm thinking about it, Ulamog is also reasonable because we are running Search for Glory and we only have like 3 targets for it. And there's plenty of times where I wish I had Ulamog. When we played against Niv Mizzet, Ulamog would have been a good idea. Yeah, alright. I was just filtering by no creatures, but that's totally reasonable. I'm not dropping Chandra just because of Immortal Sun, but I think Farewell is the card we're going to drop here. Zidra. The Dawn Star. Oh, the Dawn Waker. Oh, that's the red-white one, right? Oh, for the love of God. Really? I don't own the copy? Did I misspell it? Oh, no, I got it there. Zerda. You done goofed, Nathan. You done goofed. Zelda. Zelda the Wind Waker. Wait a minute, that's actually pretty close to the name. Permanent, his ability is activated. Each permanent card. Nah. We have to drop too much for that. We have to drop too much. Activated ability. And it doesn't give us enough benefit. Like, yeah, it's cool to like make Zacama's abilities cost 1 mana. But there's 2 huge issues with that. The deck restriction of just playing this as your companion. And the fact that your opponent now knows you don't have any regular creatures with no activated abilities, right? A big chunk of my strategy is my opponent maybe not knowing that I don't have any creatures. And if they're paying attention, Zerda would exclude about 80 to like 90% of what you would expect from a regular Zacama list. So I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea there. Also, discounting Zacama's ability isn't really that relevant. Like, if Zacama resolves, we usually win if it's something my opponent feels they can't deal with. And if they can deal with it, then it's not a big deal if I spam one of these abilities because it's, like, super cheap. I don't like that much. There's also, like, the argument where every time I have a Plains in play, the Plains or White Source is irrelevant because all it does is tap to gain 3 life. It doesn't go into the other 2 abilities because it costs 1 mana. I can't use a Plains to Lightning Bolt a creature or Naturalize. And gaining 3 life is not terribly exciting or good at all. So all my Plains are kind of useless or worse than they kind of already are, save the sweepers. So I don't think Zerda is terribly exciting. But let's keep what we changed and let's go to our mastery tree so I can finish this stupid thing. But I do like the Immortal Sun. How many more orbs do I need? 4? 4 more orbs? 4 orbs? How many do I... Does this only get 3? Oh, I just got 2. Okay, I just got 2. Gotcha. I see. I was thinking about crafting the red dragon spirit from Kamigawa. Because the treasure tokens are decent, the exile effect is decent, but I think there's like 3 or 4 cards that do something somewhat similar before I would come to this card, but it's certainly an option. I do like it. Anything that gives you inherent value and you're not terribly upset it died is pretty decent, and that's one of them. But again, there's like a lot of cards that do something similar. Showdown of the Skalds. Yeah, 4 mana draw 4. It's not terrible. I had Showdown of the Skalds in my Mardu deck with all my Furies and Solitudes, so I could pitch Showdown. Showdown's pretty good when you can pitch into Fury and Solitude, huh? It's pretty all right. I have to ask Robbie about that one. He learned a thing or two about that. Lands, let's see, we're against blue, white. This isn't the worst Teferi, it's like the second worst. It's not the 5-mana one, but apparently you can't play against Hero of Dominaria unless you're tier 0, so this is as bad as it gets for us. With a hand like this, I guess we're... Oh, wow. Really? Really? What? Why would you scoop there? What? Who slows? Teferi who slows? Argus. Damn it. I was looking at a random list. I don't know if it was up to. I'm just trying to get an average. There's no way I scoop there. I don't understand. Zacama seems like a... Alright. I mean, yeah, if I'm like super creature heavy, they might struggle. It was weird though, because they scooped it like 15 seconds into the mulligan. They didn't scoop it instantly. It's very strange. I don't know. Maybe I was just taking too long. I feel like that's very... I feel like it's a 60-40 matchup. For Teferi there. Alright. Yeah, the Kamigawa dragons do get shut off. But the old ones did too. Right? Like all of them just kind of die to... Or fizzle to exile. But exile is not that popular, right? Like most of the things you're going to bump into is kind of not exile. In fact, the only thing that exiles is really just white. There's like 3 to 5 black spells that you might expect to exile. But for the most part, it's just white. And white is usually the least represented color in Singleton. The regular EDH, at least. Maybe not so much in this format. I don't know. This format's different because you're not paired against people who are good against you. You know, you're only paired against your own, like, quote-unquote powered level. So it's kind of weird, though. I don't know. All right. Yep, untap source so I can Guardian Oil. Every time a non-green deck plays a mana rock, it always feels bad. Did they name red? They did. Alright, so any land lets them cast Hinata. That is not any land. Chandra's a good card to have in this matchup. I can Roiling Regrowth a mountain to get other cards. I can do this. Actually, I like this, because this is also kind of ramp, while also putting, like, sort of a threat in play. Let's get a plains, and then let's play the mountain. Oh, actually, we play Talon. And then next turn, I can... you can discard a card. We need you to return a permanent from 2 or less, your graveyard to the battlefield. So I'll put this plains, I'll discard the plains, put it into the battlefield, and then I can still play another land. So it's sort of like a ramp spell on 3 for white, which is very uncommon. It's a very strange card. Probably not like modern viable, but I do like it here. One of each basic. All from the same set too, so it seems like my opponent doesn't care about their basics. This is something to take note of. When you see an opponent playing When you see an opponent playing I don't have Wrath here, though, because I did that. Ah, shoot. I should have pitched a different color. I really want to deal with Hinata. No, I can't. Yeah, that was really bad. That was really, really, really bad. Any hoodles. When you see your opponent, like, not have unique basics, it's more likely they're copying a list from somewhere and that you might be able to pick up some information. They're scrying at sorcery speed, and it seemed to have auto-tapped red, which is doubly bad for us. It means they're not going to do anything this turn, and probably... Oh. Teferi pretty weak for Commander? Yeah, Teferi is pretty weak. At least the 4-mana one is. I have to agree. The 4... well, I guess the 2 other ones are also 4 now. Because 3 Fairy got nerfed. But, Hero Dominaria is like the go-to one, in my opinion. Alright, I think it's safe to... Oh, wow. Yeah, alright. I mean, yeah, that's... Yeah. Let's bait a counterspell, because it's not in... It's not terrible if this gets countered, right? And then I can still cast a ramp spell and at the same time Chandra later. Nope, this incentivizes my opponent to spend a whole turn recasting it. We will cast Field Trip, probably pitching this, or do we just get 2 mana from here? I think we're just going to get 2 mana here, crack the forest, get another forest and a plains. I think we have enough red. Though another red lets us cast the Invoke, which we have not cast yet this entire video. We've not cast Invoke yet. I'm not running March of the Redness because in the Klothys list, like I said about it, it's just hard to... Cards like big brain for me. It's just irritating. To know how much to march for, it feels like you really need to be mono red or something. Like it always feels like I'm putting myself at some kind of disadvantage when I don't use it in a meaningful fashion. Opponent was probably expecting Zacama, and they got this. Kill it, kill it, kill it. Nice. Alright, so I'm not too upset about a burn spell. I'm going to learn away this mountain if opponent lets me. Looks like they do. Yep, forest. Learn away this mountain. Alright, I got another ramp spell. That's not terrible. But again, now our opponent's torn between casting Hinata again or leaving up a counter spell so Zacama doesn't kill them. 5 minutes of Fairy gets the try hard queue. Yeah, alright, that makes sense. That also explains why I never see it. Why? How else would I see that stupid card? It kind of disincentivizes me to actually play 5 minutes of Fairy because I don't want to play against Scythus all the time. It's really irritating to do so. All right, we're gonna cast this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna cast it for let's do this first. Eat Balaget. Balaget Recovery, put it to our graveyard. Maybe it matters if we regrowth that or some weird stuff. And then I don't really care if they counter this. I'm sure they will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can play around like a Censor or something. I think that's worth it. Because either way it gets countered or not, let's play around a Censor. I'm not going to respect Spell Pierce though. Alright, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything to thin my deck. You can go in Command or Fable Passage. That's fine. And we don't have to play a tap land right now. We have enough untapped mana in hand. I'd rather just thin my deck. Get a red source. Alright, so now we have enough red to find Invoke if we ever need it. Why does it let me do this on 2? Oh, because it only is 2. Oh. I thought it was 3. This card is stupid. Boseiju is a stupid card. This is a stupid card. I have no respect for this card. Alright, looks like they're drawing 3, finally off their treasure, whatever. But they kind of just have to pass, right? 1, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they just have to pass, right? Alright, you counter this? And if so, why? Let's find out. Tune in next time on Dragon Ball's Pirate Pillage. Come on, counter it. You know it's the only card in my hand. Oh, they didn't do it! That's toxic. Alright, I'm not going to cast Zacama, because again, we can try to just Banefire this person out. It's not unreasonable. Go away. Do we cast that again? I think we do. So we will. They didn't count it the first time. Yeah, get the last mountain. Go away, and then I play Command Tower. Pass. Let me cold steel, let me blow up the Boseiju, their cold steel, so they get a basic. Having done nothing effective. Blue-white pathway. Yeah, Brawl versus Teferi would be kind of... Alright, I'm going to respect a soft counter. Actually, I can. Now, we're just going to untap. It's fine. If I cast a sweeper, my opponent might think I have a bunch in hand, so they might not fight over it. If I cast swords, that might not be true, but I'm still going to cast this because swords is an instant and is cheaper. And we are at a spot where we can realistically try to cast Zacama and not feel bad when it gets countered, which I'm sure it will. Let's put a stop here to float our mana when it resolves. It won't. Okay, so we can just pass. It's fine. Some people don't realize when you cast a... when you want to hold your own priority, you can click it, then click it right off, and it speeds stuff up. You don't have to hold priority. Like I see people do on their upkeep, like, oh, draw. And then they're confused why they can't cast their spells. It's because they're still in the draw step. They didn't take the stop off. You can unclick the stop after you've done whatever, and it will still hold where you need it to. Double Angels. Alright, I might have to swords one of those, but I can still wait till my next turn to do so. Unless they have double counterspell. Invoke Calamity. Alright, let's see what they do when I do this, actually. They wouldn't cast the Angels if they didn't have an answer to this. Okay. Instant or surgery from graveyard. 5, 4, 3. Castings. Alright, so 6, I can do a 4 sweeper and a 2 spell. I don't have a 2 spell. Ay, that's not good. Alright, looks like I'm just going to invoke for a sweeper then. That's not good at all, but I don't really have a choice. I don't think Boseiju is going to give us a lot of value this game. I can blow up one of their things with this. I guess I will if this gets countered. I don't really have a choice. You have another counterspell, huh? That's really annoying. Negate. Okay, well, unfortunately Negate's pretty good against us. But yeah, we can just crack the treasure tokens to fight one of these. They know I can do this because they can see the card. I don't have a choice, so... And then I can swords the other one. Or just threaten Zacama to stop it from hitting me over and over. They can't really Hanada, at least I don't expect them to. Unless they don't have any counter spells. Looks like that is the case. That is fine. Alright, we put a stop again so we can float some mana. Wait, what? Oh, I thought it was Wash Away. Oh, I thought it was Wash Away, dude. Oh, that is Wash Away. Alright, so we kill their board. Kind of surprised to see them go for... Yep. Oh, actually, we gained 9 life. That's not bad. Do I blow this up? Oh, I can recast it! Oh! I can recast the card. Oh! Oh, I floated a minute. My bad. Oh, dude, I can just recast Zacama? This is stupid. I didn't realize. Oh, excuse me. It's killing me. Oh, yay. Hey. Hanada. How's Hanada feeling right now, dude? How's Hanada? Oh, no! 4, 8. Okay, alright, Zacama. Seppuku. What is this game? Just... Alright, Zacama, eat your own heads. Yes. Yes. Avoid the mass manipulation. Oh, this is stupid. Alright. Seppuku has been initiated. Oh, this is an instant? Are you kidding me? Dude, I've learned 8 things in this turn cycle. This is just stupid. Alright. Do you have another counterspell? This spends all my mana. I'll play around specifically some kind of sensor. I don't know. This is great. I'm having a good time. All right, that's all that matters. Yes, committed Sudoku, dude. Committed complete Sudoku. Oh my god. All right, we have something to do, so we won't shift enter. What is the exiled card, and why am I confused? Why are the cards separate? Okay. Wait, why was that separate? What card have they... What? They had 2 cards and they weren't next to each other in hand. Is that a bug? Am I confusing? Did I not notice something? This isn't necessarily GG, because they probably have a lot of sweepers. Oh, well, they literally just found one, but... Why was the solve the equation away from the card in hand? Why did that just happen? Is this something I'm not understanding? Did I misunderstand what I just saw? Was I tripping? Why is this exiled face down? What is it? What caused that? Why do they have a card exiled face down? Foretell? Did they foretell? When did they foretell? It has to be foretell. I just don't know when they did it, right? Like, Mizzix's Mastery? What does that do? It doesn't do anything. Oh, wait, I have to commit Sudoku again. No, you can't mass manipulation. So they can solve again? What? Why would you... Alright, I guess we're gaining a bunch of life. It's fine. Not terribly relevant, but you never know. Alright, Zacama. I can cast Zacama again, so this isn't the end of the world. Alright, what do you do now? I feel like you're going to mastery immediately. You don't. Alright, that's smart. Smart of my opponent. I cannot recast this. Alright, so I guess I have no choice but to get 2 basics. Oh boy. It's kind of spoopy. Kind of spoopy. We can gain a crap ton of life. So if my opponent tries to like burn me out or something. But they solve the equation and they take an extra turn. That is the only thing Mizzix's Mastery does here. Which I really don't care. In fact, they probably shouldn't do that. Opponent correctly assesses the situation, and they don't. Alright. We can hold lands for our... Let's put a stop, I guess. Hold lands for our... I can recast it, so I don't want to redraw it. I can recast it next turn. So I'm not going to redraw it. That's wrong. That was an insane top deck, though. Okay, so again, extra turn in tutor. Alright. think I did this right. I'll find out the hard way. Okay, the rest are useless. Play that. Get 2 more. Get the last one. This is useless. I guess I didn't have to Harrow. Alright, so I made a Harrow mistake. I can't not sacrifice something, so that was also a mistake. Not the end of the world, but obviously a mistake. Get my Chandra. Draw 2, make a treasure. I think I'm going to copy Explore, just so I can cast spells. That was a weird... I was wondering how this card was going to fare in the face of simply ramp spells, but it feels really good right now. It feels really good. Wow. Because their Mizzix Mastery won't be doing what ours just did. Alright. Oh, shoot. I got quiet there for a second. I can't believe we drew that. But, yeah, that was an interesting endeavor. Wow, we're really going head-to-head with a Jeskai controlled list right now. With, like, Naya-controlled Storm nonsense. That's really crazy. Yep, theirs doesn't really do anything. Can they mass manipulate with the mana cost? I don't think you can put X in this. You cannot. So the only thing they're doing is Time Warp and a second copy of Solve the Equation. Which, I mean, can tutor the ideal card. Oh, they can Emiria's Call, so they can kill my... Chandra. Ayy, that sucks. I guess you might as well cast this, but it doesn't matter. Man Advantage has no bearing in this matchup, though. I could have Omniscience in play. In fact, at this point, we probably could both have Omniscience in play. It doesn't really change the course of the game. That's irrelevant. Okay, so I can Shatter Skull Smashing and not feel terrible unless they tutor up a counterspell. I don't think they will, but they can. Probably find an answer to Zacama. Makes more sense. We should have like 2 more lands in play. I overextended my ramp spells off of my mastery. I sacked a land for no reason. It's a mistake. They can pick up mass manipulation with stuff, but yeah, Mizzix Mastery means they have to exile it, but they still have to cast it. They don't really have a choice. Okay, so if this is the best card, then I'm not terribly frightened. It does draw 5, but again, it's not the end of the world because they tutored for this. They could have tutored for a card that was a penultimate answer, but they chose a card that draws random cards off the top. So I'm not terribly frightened of our situation. At least the cards they find. But again, the value might be an issue. They could just bank on drawing. They might have too many choices, so they just go for one that finds more than one of the choices, and I found them that way. Mass manipulation is also kind of useless against me. Because we don't have a lot of things to steal. And we've committed Sudoku once already. Alright, so we're in a bind. We are in a bind. Zacama stops this from, like, stealing a really good card if it's not Jeskai colored. Because I can naturalize it. Looks like that is the case. I'm sure they've found a land. They don't cast it. Alright, put a stop. See if this resolves. It does. Alright, float. Untap. Naturalize this so they don't have access to the card if it is not at least Jeskai in color. I don't have to deal with these immediately, so I don't need to play either of these. I guess for the float 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we can double bolt one of these now. I guess that's fine. Because I'm going to do it anyways. Almost always, no matter what happens, I'm going to be doing this regardless. So I might as well float a mana. Or just not float a mana. All right. 18 RGW. Yellow. Alright, Chandra, kill them in 30 turns. Let's go. I think they'll deck out by 30 turns. On average, they probably draw 2 cards a turn. We've seen 20 more cards than them, and we're a bit shy on things to do. This has felt good so far, though. Again, I can Shatter Skull if they go for the commander. I doubt they will. That is fine. They can't swing unless they forget Zacama has reach. A lot of people do. Plays a land. That's fine. Fire Prophecy? Alright, we're not going to Sudoku Zacama to negate this. You can draw a card. That's fine. I won't block anymore, though. I won't block. Because I don't want this to die to Lightning Bolt or Helix. Brainstorm's fine. No shuffle effect would be really good for us here. Actually be really, really good if they don't have a shuffle effect. Because the extra turn is not typically good then. Do your worst, laddie. Do your worst. It's 6 mana. Yeah, Shatter Skull doesn't go face. Yeah. Doesn't do that. Alright, so they either forgot that this has reach, or they just think they can kill it when it has 6 toughness instead of 9, so I won't block. It also doubles down on the idea that they may not realize this can block it. So I won't do anything about it. Okay. Alright, so they had Abrade. They could have killed Zacama there, and they obviously didn't. Alright, taking extra damage, you know. Alright, Zacama. Come on. Come on. Do your thing. Yep, they played a land. Come on. Come on, sit tight. Come on. Come on, be a good boy. Good boy for daddy. Yes! Alright, they untap. We get to untap. Double bolt. Let's go. Yes! Yes! Oh, this is great. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great... So you can settle the wreckage me all day, boy. I don't care. Wait, do I sing? Do I swing? I swing. I can recast Zacama. We don't care. Zacama's irrelevant. Plan B, dude. Plan B. Plan Z. Plan Z. Yeah, we'll spam some gain life here before I forget. Thank God it auto yields. Almost didn't do that. Probably not relevant, but they are Hinata. They have a couple cards that deal like direct damage, but we're at such a high life total it probably won't be relevant. But it's basically free unless they flash in some nonsense that I regret not casting lightning bolts on immediately, which I don't think there's any cards that do that. So Skyclave, first time for everything. Let's see. Hand is kind of poop, but we will swing. They have a card that is castable that is not just an instant speed or instant speed card here, so. Oh, dude, they're mousing over their hand when I go to attacks. Do I respect settle? I can't let them block. So they actually had the like penultimate card there. That's like the best card in the deck is Magma Opus. I guess it was inevitable. We were pushing the point of half of the deck. So we sauce in for 9 by bolting now. Again, not really a reason not to, because I'm not doing anything else anyways. Looks like they're taking 9, so no instant speed answer to Zacama now. We go to their turn. Is it a draw spell? Looks like it kind of... Ooh. Put a stop here. Let's take the stop off there. They target Magma Opus. They deal 4 to my face, probably, which would make sense. But we have a naturalized. This is an artifact, so it doesn't kill us outright. They probably should have tapped Zacama and not my lands. I don't really see the appeal of tapping my lands when I'm going to just use my lands. Yeah, you should definitely tap Zacama. This is a mistake. Alright, so you tap nothing, I take 4, you draw 2, and then I can just pass because I can deal with this whenever I want. Alright. I mean, dude, Zacama with the Chandra emblem is working away here. This is a real deal. Teferi's gone, right? 5 minutes Teferi, or was it a different game? Different game. Okay. We still have just a ton of mana. But they have seen 4 new cards, or 5 new cards, so this is an issue. But again, we can assess certain things because they got Inspired Ultimatum from their tutor, which, if that's the best card in their deck for a given situation, we're not too upset for what they can randomly draw, except counter spells, but this is already in play, so it's now gone. Yep. If they give this indestructible in response now, I'm fine. That's a reasonable exchange. Looks like it's not the case. I think I want to Skyclave that because it does draw 2 cards a turn, basically. Getting rid of an irrelevant card every turn at this point is probably a good idea. Opponent immediately does as such. This can't deal with 5 minutes of Fairy regardless. Yeah, alright. Cultivate's useless. I have no way to get rid of it. It's not the end of the world if Zacama gets countered, so I'll just try to cast it here. It's like they snap off a counter. Okay. We can recast it again. I don't have to play a land now to do so. I can just play the land next turn and then still be able to do it, so I'm not going to try now. Skyclave target Pog? Yeah. That is true. Alright, search. That is a card we want to Skyclave, so it's a good thing we didn't snap that off. Hanada. Alright, so less likely they have a counter spell, but not impossible. Could still obviously have one. That gets back Chandra, which we're not interested in doing immediately. Let's do this. Pay 3. There's no reason to float mana because I'm getting all of it back. Oh, they have a card? No. Okay. Whew. Ooh. Alright. Wow. Alright. So we get rid of all of it. No Skyclave targets, dude. We just blow them all up. No Skyclave targets. Rip. Alright, deal with that. So now they have to make a token now, or they can't make a token at all with their castle. Looks like they chose not to. At this point, we can double bolt while also casting Chandra. Now we'll do that. Yep, I can do all of it. Alright, and Chandra is obviously the most relevant card because it can't be countered and is putting unconditional pressure on them. So this is insane. We're just like jogging alongside of a deck like this. This is crazy. All right, so they have basically 10 turns unless they have life gain instead of like 30 because of the double emblem. The emblem cuts their thing in half here. Jeskai doesn't close the game out typically that fast. Faster than blue-white if it's like your life total's in jeopardy. We are at 52. It is not. Mass Manipulation is out of the game. Oh, you fiend. Okay, all right. Naturalize the treasure tokens. Opponent slow rolling it, I guess. Oh no, it didn't let me activate. Oh, I could not activate it again. Okay, so they can make a... Oh, they chose not to make a Castle Arden Vale token. That's, I guess, good news. But they have a 9-turn clock on them. Okay, they probably should have waited, because I don't think there's a lot they can hit on 2. I don't see a reason to wilt, but I don't see a reason to cycle it. Actually, I do see a reason to cycle it. We kind of want stuff to do now. Okay, that's fine. Let's play that. Do we Skyclave here? We can Skyclave their literal commander, so I guess we don't do anything. And put them on this 9-turn clock. The tokens they get off of Art of Veil don't have lifelink, so... Alright. What do you got? Oh no, dude, I ran out of Tito's. Oh my god. Oh my god. Endgame's pretty quickly with Kiora Best of Sea God. Yeah, that is one. I mean, Zacama just deals with it, though. The 8/8 is alright, but Zacama just kind of cleanly deals with the enchantment. And you can kind of deal with the 8/8. Usually, you can usually deal with the 8/8. I do like Kiora Best of Sea Gods. It's not in my Madralfa list right now, though. I think it's a little redundant. Okay, so I am going to eat that with Skyclave. Yeah, I'm going to eat that with Skyclave. They shouldn't have bounced their Arcane Signet. You can -3 and not target anything. It was a bit of a mistake. Probably won't matter, but you never know. They're actually running Brawl. Zacama is literally in parentheses 24. I've never seen that before. That's wicked funny. That's really funny. Alright, so we eat this. We crack the Mind Stone, or do we hold it for 8? 6, 14, 17, 19. I guess we hold it to simply... No, I think finding cards that are not Zacama is just as relevant. We have 40 cards left. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Again, they're on the same clock they were. And 24 RGW. 24 RGW. Dude, we're pushing the limits of what's possible, dude. We're about to go Super Saiyan 5. Let's see. They have 4 mana. Oh, kill it, kill it. Yes! Alright, so Cleansing Nova is useful. We get to sweep the entire board. No Brawl value this game. Hanada dies again. This is massive. Oh, and we get to double clock on Klothys. It's holding priority automatically because it thinks I want to copy something with Vengeance. I obviously do not. And we pass. Alright, so Klothys is 2 more Chandra emblems while we also at the same time gain life. So this is actually really nice. They drew a land. Alright, scry to the bottom, 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 scry to the bottom. Yes! 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 Ooh! Alright, we're going to do that instead. Alright, what do we eat? What do we eat? We're going to eat this. That could be a problem later. Good game? Yes! Yes! Oh! Oh, dude, that was the longest game of... Oh, and we beat a Jeskai control deck with Zacama with no creatures. Oh, no one expects it, dude. No one expects the creatureless Zacama package. Alright, so what did we beat this game? We beat an extra turn, like, twice. We beat Heliod's Intervention, but I don't think they realistically utilized it. We beat a ton of counterspells because all of their counterspells went to Zacama, which is why he costs 25. 27, he costs 27 mana. We had the Skyclave for this, so the redundancy on that is out of the way. Magma Opus is the best card in the deck, and we dealt with that. We're surprised we did not see that from a Solve the Equation. They cast this twice. The first time they cast it, they got Mizzix's Mastery, which in turn allows you to cast it again, so it's like quote-unquote free for additional mana, you know, and have infinite mana on both sides. Yeah, but it was funny because both of our Mizzix's Masteries, in their scenario, they only had 2 realistic cards with it, which was Solve and Extra Turn, which they obviously did. Ours was a bunch of ramp spells, and we actually burned a land because we sacrificed one for no reason on the Harrow. It was a mistake. And then we sacked another one on the Roiling Regrowth, which was also a mistake. We were actually 2 lands lower than we should have been. In fact, it ended up mattering because this was 27 mana. We could have utilized those 2 lands at some point to do something later. It didn't end up mattering, but it could have. It was relevant. It was a mistake. I wasn't paying attention. Even though I got quiet to think about it, I still made the mistake. So that's my bad. What else happened this game? Swords, yep, that's fine. It gained its life, which wound up being irrelevant. We ended the game at 53. Brawl, which doesn't really do anything when your hand is empty. There was a sketchy sequence where they had Torrential Gearhulk, Pilgrimage to catch back up, and Gearhulk got back a Magma Opus, which was another 2 cards, but with Zacama spamming, it was fine. We didn't even have to naturalize. We could have just double bolted the Gearhulk and been fine. So, crazy game. Crazy game. Who saw more cards? We actually saw 5 more cards than they did. We did Nylea's this game, right? Nylea's for like 12 or something, and they didn't counter it? Yeah, so that explains that, I guess. Thinning your deck is relevant, and as we saw here, we had every single basic in our deck in play by the end of it. With no ramp involved from the opponent, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 16, 20. They had like 28 mana or something. We had more than them. People look at Cultivate as like not card advantage, and Cultivate is card advantage. I'd argue Cultivate is better than Divination. Blue would do Divination where you draw 2. Cultivate draws 2 cards, except one of those cards goes immediately into play to impact the game state, while also giving you 1 to guarantee for next turn, thus being a land. I think Cultivate is better than Divination, and they're both in tandem with one another, pulling 2 cards from your deck. Obviously, what you're after in blue is not just lands. In this case, we're not necessarily after them either, as green is kind of our 3rd most important color, as we're still like this green-red value storm thing. But crazy, crazy game. Glad we wound up pulling ahead and closing it out. It was a really cool game. I'd like to end it there, but I'm in the mood to go again, so we'll go again. Oh, we got 2 Skull Scabs, a card I've never heard of and we'll never see again. Nice. Big brain. Yeah. Finale of Glory. Do we have Glory? Is Glory on this deck? Wait a minute. Sure this is the... Oh, the white finale. The white finale, yeah. Yeah, the white finale would have been really funny. It's a sorcery, though. There's too many sweepers. There's too many sweepers. Yeah, I don't like it. Something to note there. We were against a deck like didn't really have any creature-based pressure, and all the creature-based pressure that they had we could answer with Zacama alone. We did not need all these sweepers. But I still like the sweepers, and honestly, I think we only drew 2. Right? We drew like Doomscar and Cleansing Nova. We had a lot of sweepers and we just didn't see them, which meant the bottom half of our deck was not great, because we had so many things in there that weren't great except Banefire, which could have just closed the game out at any random point. Also, I'm starting to notice if Grape Shot is not terribly exciting, then some of these cards might not be exciting either. And we're not running Grape Shot, but storming off in a red-green style strategy has not come to fruition. Ulamog was in our deck too, actually. Wow. We had a lot of good hits. The bottom half of our deck was actually really good. Wow. Search for Glory, we never drew, I don't think. No, we did, right? And then we got Chandra. Yeah, we did. Never mind. There's an argument to taking Ulamog instead, but the inevitability of Chandra emblems seem good, especially when you don't feel like you're under enough pressure to just like outright kill you when you're at 55, 53. Alright, so what do we not like? Alright, that's the question. What do we not like in the list that we want to take out right now? That's the question. I'll leave you with that question while I go to the bathroom again. And maybe get more Tito's. I don't know. I'll find more Tito's, don't worry. There's always Tito's in my house. Someone give me a card that's... What's the 99th worst card? Increasing Vengeance or Invoke Calamity? Alright. So what does Invoke do? 6 or less, sorcery or instant, right? No. Invoke can be a secondary window to a board wipe. It can be a secondary window to really anything we do, as most of our deck is obviously instants and sorceries. What was the other card? Increasing Vengeance. Stomping Ground gives haste in stopped counterspell? What? I no get. Alright, I don't know what you mean. Anyways, Increasing Vengeance. What does Increasing Vengeance do? Doesn't really double up on a ramp spell too well, because we kind of cast ramp spells on curve. It is an instant, so I can... It is a counter spell when I go to cast the sweeper and our opponent tries to fight back, and I can cast the sweeper again with Increasing Vengeance. It's not like Narset's Reversal, unfortunately, but you know, it is flashbacks. You can do it twice, I guess. What else does it do? It like doubles up from the graveyard late game, like 10 mana Escape the Wilds, or doesn't really do anything with Approach. I know I snuck Approach in here. I'm sorry, I snuck Approach in my deck. I did. Alright, Increasing Vengeance is probably one of the weaker ones. I can double up on a Banefire, which is cool, but usually when we're at that range, they die anyways. Also, I kind of want to drop one of these lands for another basic. We did hit max basics that game. Might be something to note. We wound up using this as an effect. We channeled the white land too, which is not common. The only tap lands are really just the thriving lands because they're like emergency. Oh, I need a color, and it gives you it. I think these are worth it. On top of the snow land to ramp for, which should be the red-green one, not the red... Actually, you know, it probably should be the red-white land. Red-white snow land. Because if we're ramping for it with Into the North, then we already have green. And we don't need double green. The only double green card in the entire deck is Begin Anew. Oh, I guess Nylea's Intervention, which we've actually cast twice. We have not cast this at all. But so there's two cards that are double green. We don't need double green reliably. Red and white are way more important. So we can actually just replace that there with here. That being said, obviously your opening land, you kind of want green in your opener. This is one less green source for your opener. Something to take note of. But I think so far it's worth it. Oh, Stomping Ground? Yeah, Stomping Ground giving haste. I don't know what you mean by Stomping Ground giving haste in stopping counterspells. I think you have the wrong land. Are you talking about Cavernous Souls? I think you're talking about... Oh my god. I can't... Oh, yeah, there we go. I think you're talking about Cavernous Souls. Oh, no, it's not in here. Rhythm of the Wild. That's what you're talking about. Alright, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That makes sense. Wait, why is it not in this list? There it is. Yeah. Same with this. They do the same thing, right? Yeah, these do the same thing, except this ramps me. A little bit weaker, a little bit more soft to answers from the opponent, but it does ramp me a mana. I can't use that mana to activate Zacama's abilities, it's just to cast it. The Prey Upon is decent if the lightning bolts aren't enough. They tend to be, though, as we've seen. If I was going to pick one of these two, I think it would always be Domri. And I don't think I like Domri. In fact, if I'm doing a non-can't-be-countered thing, I'd prefer Toski or one of the green spells like Destiny Spinner or Allosaurus Shepherd. I think these are a little bit better than just one of these. Although that's up for debate. Destiny Spinner is probably the best of all four because it gives the land ability where I can turn any land into a man land that could be an issue for my opponent. But I'm not running a ton of enchantments, so that's not necessarily true. It would usually just be a 1/1 or something. So that's probably not true. The can't be countered clause is weird, and if I was really worried about it, I think Veil of Summer is more important than either of these. And I don't like Veil of Summer. I don't like this one card that sometimes makes my things uncounterable. I just don't like it. Thus, by extension, I don't really like these two. If you're against a blue deck and you're losing to counter spells, they can just counter these, and then you're back to square one. Or you just accept it as just not a favorable matchup, or you fight through the counterspells, which we did that game. We actually fought through like 20 counterspells, all hitting Zacama, and we were still fine. So I'm not super big on can't be countered things. We also have Banefire to avoid them anyways, and kill our opponent with that. So I'm not on that. But I will drop Increasing Vengeance. I kind of agree it's not terribly exciting. I prefer another draw discard effect. Am I running Manlands? No, not really. So far, they haven't been terribly relevant. They could be good against Planeswalkers, which is another avenue to our greatest weakness. So that's actually pretty reasonable. That is reasonable. I do like Tormenting Voice, though. Where do you have Thrill? We have the weird Japanese Thrill. Spell Satchel? No, I don't think I like Spell Satchel. I haven't given Spell Satchel a try, though. I'm not going to lie. And chat has given me ideas that have worked in the past. Tyler said, their bread said, Sludgy Boy, Sludge Monster, and it actually wound up being pretty good, so. I really wish it entered the battlefield with at least one on it. Why doesn't it just, like, enter with a book counter? Ugh. Wait a minute. What's changed about this card? Why does Spell Satchel have the alchemy thing? Why is this different? What's different about this? Did it cost 3 originally or something? Honestly, this is basically the next Mana Rock early. We do... you know what? Alright, you sold me. Let's try that. Let's try it. We have a lot of untapped lands, so I can totally see an argument for running these. Is there any of that? No, they're not. Right, like, I also have the special art for all of them. Look at them, beautiful, glorious, meows, glorious. At that degree, I almost want to drop the Snowland. It means Into the North only gets basics, which I'm not a fan of. But I think that's fine. We don't really need... Into the North getting a plains or a mountain is not, like, that devastating. Oh, we needed an extra red and a white. Like, how often does that happen? Really want to avoid tap lands. I really, really want to avoid tap lands. So we just added 3. But they are an answer to annoying planeswalkers, or a way to harass them, which is not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable. Okay, we'll drop the Meadow. 3 to activate and 3 to counters the draw. It was 3 to activate and 3 counters to draw? Are you serious? Oh, it's 2. I thought it was 1. I thought they, like, Giga nerfed it or something. Okay. That's only, like, a quantum nerf. Buff, whatever. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I just look this one. Over half the deck, well, not over, 44 cards in the deck are relevant for Spell Session. 44 cards. I don't like Crawling Barrens. I don't like colorless sources. I just don't like colorless sources. Not right now. We have a quad red card, double green, double white card, to spread out. Really trying to make my mana consistent, and so far it has paid off. Honestly, between the Spell Satchel and Maze Mind's Tome, I think I prefer Tome. The only way this gets better is if I'm really like on this strategy, so I'm running both, obviously, so I have no choice. Or this winds up somehow drawing more than 4 cards, which is a colossal ask. In that last game we played where we saw half of our deck, I don't think in that game this would have drawn 4 or more. It probably would have drawn 4. If it was on the play and we drew it and it was like turn 2 and we cast it, maybe we could have saw 5 to 6, but let's say it wasn't in our opener, it would probably draw 3 to 4. And by extension, I think Maze Mind's Tome is just better. But if you're running this already and you want more of that effect, this makes sense. But I don't think we're on Spell Satchel. I don't even know if we're on Maze Mind's Tome. Not currently. It's something to take note of, though. It's not irrelevant. It's not something to avoid. Heliod's intervention has not felt great so far. The life gain is kind of useless, and our commander sort of does this, so maybe we don't need Heliod's intervention. I didn't even really think of that. I'm like, oh, we're playing Klothys with white. Let me just throw that in. But we already kind of do that. We might not even need that. We don't even need Wilt, right? Like, unless we're tempoing out someone's mana rock early, I don't feel like Wilt is that particularly exciting either. What did I just do that put me back to even cards? Oh, God. Oh, no. I added a bunch of lands, didn't take any out. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, now we have 2 more lands in our deck, and I somehow broke even. I don't know how we ended up breaking even in that sequence of decision making, but we did. Crawling Barrens is better than Guardian Idol. I can fetch it with Nylea's. Yeah, that's true, but Nylea's does not ramp you. Guardian Idol does. This is a turn 2 play that adds mana to your, total mana. And then turn 3, I can cast Migration Path, Circuitous Route, Pillage. If I need a sweeper, I can sweep on 3, but it's probably not likely. But I can do that. I think the fact that, if these were interchangeable, then you just never run Guardian Idol. But Guardian Idol's a ramp spell. This is not. This is also sometimes blowing up your opponent's flyers, which could be a thing, but probably not really. Not realistically. But no, this is a ramp spell. This isn't. This is a colorless rampant growth. This is a Sylvan Scrying. This is a Sylvan Scrying, but for X instead of 1. They're different enough where I don't think they're comparable, and they do different things. But no, things have been working so far. Let's keep it as is. Shoot, it's already been 2.5 hours. Oh God. All right, we'll go again though. We'll go one more time. I don't want the video to end with me going to the bathroom and then having done nothing. So let's do that. All right. This is a nothing but board wipes matter matchup, kind of. We have 1. We have a payoff at the end that's a little bit more significant than Zacama, but they might scoop to Zacama anyways, so we win at 9 mana. I don't know. Elves is pretty loose to Zacama. We'll see. They're on the play. No Llanowar Elves. Okay, that's fine. We need second white source. We're trying to fade like 2 of the really impactful elves. Let's see if they have them. Obviously, always an issue. If they do. Alright, found the second white source. That's nice. It's also our first red source. That's really... They do have it. Of course they do. Alright, that's one of the elves that is pulling off the entire strategy, which we cannot allow to resolve. Untap, rather. So we can Dire Strain a forest for a mountain in a mountain? Double mountain, I think. Oh, they didn't have a land. We don't care about this as long as we get the board empty. So, Alright, let's do this here. Get a red and a white. No, we get double red, I think. Yeah, we get double red. So I can invoke. Invoke is just another board wipe. I can pull it out of the graveyard. Seems like a pretty straightforward matchup. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. What do you do? Tracks and attacks. Okay, don't care. Don't care. Let's pitch Skyclave. Rip Apart, huh? Rip Apart kills a Mana Dork. I think that's more relevant than... Actually, you know what? Maybe it's not. Yes, it is. They missed lands. Still cast Klothys, too. Alright, this is a really good spot to be in. We have 7 mana. Spell Satchel's bad in your opinion? How dare you give me your onions. Alright, so we're going to eat that, because that's a scary one. We're going to deal with the board so our opponent doesn't cheat lands out of nowhere, and then we're going to pass, because we don't have anything else to do. Nice. Yep, that's kind of what I expected. Opponent just kind of loses. That's what mono green does. It just loses the sweepers. The only reason we lost to Azusa that one time is because they had 2 of the 3 really significant haste threats in a very timely Vorniclix. Non-hasting Vorniclix. They had both Vorniclix and we lost. But typically mono green is pretty easy. Just moving on. Can't beat it. And then once we get to 9 mana, we just cast Zacama, and then mono green can't do anything, because you have Zacama in play, and they're mono green. They can't really deal with it. Except Beast Within, which is not in the game. Alright, so there's 4 lands here. We do have all of our red and... or all our colors. Ugh. This is black-green, though, with Garruk. Star is really good, but discard spells are really bad. I think I'm going to keep this, though. Black-green seems favorable. It does seem favorable. Oh, they're giving us the old Tameo wave. Beating us down with the Phyrexian iPad. Plays a tap land Cauldron, that is fine, so they're more of a sack thing. I'm not going to Boseiju, shift enter. Skullport. That is when a creature sack your own stuff. Yeah, okay, so we want to play you. Alright, we're just racing for Starve Extinction. I think I will Smothering Tithe next turn. Especially if my opponent feels like they have to deal with it. And so far, every time I've cast it, my opponent has. Although it is kind of on the bottom 5 for me. Oh, they got Binding. Alright, so they Binding here instead of next turn. So we get to keep Smothering Tithe. Cool. That was the card that I had in mind, too. It's kind of funny. Alright, I don't see anything Boseiju worthy. Let's just run this out now. Maybe fix our colors. Get a second white source. Opponent feels like they have to pay for this or not. Come on, you know you want to pay for it. Just pay for it. It's easy. It's easy. It takes 2 fingers. Slide the Swamp and the Malakir Mire sideways. It's all you have to do. It's all you have to do. No one's going to judge you. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. That's fine. No Garruk this turn. You happen upon on a Glade. 2 basics. We were talking about this card earlier. It's a Balagate Recovery that sometimes gives you 2 basics in hand. Might belong in my deck, but currently it is not in there. Alright, so Den of the Bugbear is the only card that this can ramp into, or the planes I specifically get. So I guess I'll do that. That's fine. Let's go planes, and then I can pitch the planes. Let's play Den of the Boogbar. Bargbar. Alright, pay for it. You paid for it last time. Come on. Come on. Slide them sideways. Ah, they did it. Nice. No Garruk again, huh? Interesting. Casualties of War? No, none of mana. Slots me for 1. Junji. What does this do when it dies? Alright, let's pitch you. Let's play it for free. Freebies. Play out you. What do you do when you die? I lose 2 life. Dr. Clockworks. Hey Beasley, you really love your YouTube videos? Do you think Brokos is viable in Sultai Commander? You'll have to elaborate what Brokos is. When it comes to names, I have that condition where I can't recognize faces except its names, so I could not tell you what that is by name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can get Ulamog and try to fade a counterspell. We can get this to run away with the game, but they are black-green, so it's pretty easy for them to deal with. Ulamog, not so much. Klothys doesn't seem too good. We're just going to get Ulamog. It's out of the way. It's in my opponent's mind. Rent-free. And we'll pass. Sacking a forest at some point. I can just look it up. Let me just look it up. Brokos. Oh, the mutate guy. It's all right. It depends what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to sweep the board, right? I guess it's all right. Like if you if you're trying to beat your opponent to death, then it's fine. But if you're trying to do a value centric thing, then Muldrotha's your way to go. They're actually very different. So it's really up to you what you want to, what you're trying to do, honestly. I really wish they had Garruk in play before I starve Extinction. I think we're going to respect that, play this as our land, and just begin anew. We lose this, which sucks because this is the first turn I got it in play. But what else does this do? Non-dragon graveyard. So they get this back, and all I did was deal with this. I can also just lose my whole hand if I kill this now. Maybe I don't have a choice but to just fire this up. I guess that's the only thing I can do. Alright, you got me. Because I'll lose my whole hand. I discard 2 cards to Joji. I obviously don't want to do that. Pitch a card to blow it up, and then I lose the other 2. There's nothing good to do. But yeah, Brokos is, you know, you're just playing like you want asceticism in your deck, troll aesthetic, hex something mare, the vine mare horse thing. There's a lot of cards that like give you hexproof and stuff that are just kind of justify the idea that you're trying to beat your opponent's death with a 6/6, because otherwise it doesn't really do anything. You're just casting a 6-mana 6/6 on something. So you can do a token strategy where you sometimes have a 6-mana 6/6. You can do hey, that's really annoying. 1, 2, 3. I think I want Starve Extinction as my last card. Ulamog can come back later with a regrowth. It's not super impactful right now. I don't know. But I mean, maybe if they don't pay for the Smothering Tithe, then, you know, but I'm sure they will. But you want to have a way to recur it over and over, and the way you do that is wait, what? They still paid for it? Why'd they blow it up? It's opponent. Oh, my opponent's acting really. This is the second person that has done some weird Smothering Tithe decisions. Some weird jank there. Okay, I mean, we'd take it. Yeah, you just go wide or you just kind of ignore it and let it do its thing. I get the untap trigger, but I probably don't get to have it live. Yeah, that's pretty realistic outcome. That's fine. Do I wilt this? Sacred creature, gain a life drop card. I don't think so. I think we can just do this and then swing and then pass, and then we're fine. We have a weird amount of pressure. We have not been able to do anything like this before, so that's kind of cool. Just beating our opponent to death with what's in play. But yeah, you either want tokens like Chatterfang, right? Stuff like that. The weird Ascend, make a Saproling on every upkeep thing. There's 2 cards that do that. But for the most part, I'm not terribly excited about the card. Can't say it's... I think everything you're trying to do with it, Majraltha does better. If you're trying to get this like recurring, annoying threat, a 6-mana 6/6 is not terribly threatening in a commander. Thus, by extension, EDH. I think we will cycle this. Don't really care about their Cauldron here. Alright, that's a good card for later. This is 20 damage, so it will kill Zacama. I'm not going to cast Zacama. I guess it's free to swing first. I'll mouse over this for a second to make my opponent think I'm going to swing at it, and then I'll go face. Maybe my opponent makes a weird decision off of that. I didn't fire up Den of the Bugbear, though, so they might be wary of what I'm doing. Alright, they just make the obvious blocks regardless how I swing. They don't take any damage, nothing happens. And then I Starve Extinction on, I guess, a black-green land. Doesn't really matter too much. They can sack 1 creature to the Merchant. Or to the Cauldron, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I couldn't stop this regardless. They can sack it here, they can sack it there. Opponent is stumped. I don't know why. It doesn't matter what you do. You're just drawing a card. There you go. Alright. Garruk is dying, so it doesn't matter what they sacrifice. And then we play a land, and we pass. And we can Nylea's Intervention later for a bunch of mana. They just recast Garruk. That's probably good news. They can sack the Wolves for the Cauldron, which is annoying. Maybe I should have wilted it. I don't know. I didn't, though. Appreciate my thoughts. Gotta get dinner. Hope you catch more of your streams. Yeah, no problem, dude. Thanks for stopping by. It's always nice to see a newcomer. Alright, opponent has Crawling Barrens. The debate has been settled. Card OP. So we can cry, or we can just do this for like 1, 2, 3, a bunch of mana. I think we're just going to do this for a bunch of mana. We can seize the spoils of land later. We could just seize the spoils immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 5 lands, and then we seize the spoils. We can get 4 lands and seize the spoils because we can... No, we can get 6 lands and seize the spoils because one of these lands comes in untapped. That's fine. It's not even that relevant. I mean, it makes maybe more sense to just draw 2 more lands. That way seize the spoils is better on average later. But if I want to cast it now, which I kind of do, this makes sense. Get all the man lands, man land. Dump the not you. The thriving lands because they're tapped, which is annoying. Get rid of those. Let's play you. Let's cycle one of the thriving lands. Get a treasure token. Alright, Underworld Breach. That gives us another Starve Extinction, which is fine. Wait, this is any card, right? I can cast Ulamog off of this Starve Extinction. They can immediately ultimate. I don't think they're going to, but they can. Unless they have Craterhoof, then I guess I'm dead. But otherwise, we're not... Alright, looks like they're doing neither. They're just simply making more tokens. So Ulamog is a good idea here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Wait, 5, 11, 12, 13, so I can actually do that. They don't have too much that's terribly threatening. The Crawling Barrens is an issue. That's also an issue. Alright, so they have 2 things in play that are an issue, and we will deal with them. Let's cast you. Those are problems that Veil of Summer does not fix. Never not dead to hoof, yeah. Blocking is for, math is for blockers, even if your opponent has no blockers. Okay, so we're gonna play an untapped land. We're gonna run this out so I don't have to crack my treasure. Oh, no, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. Whew. Close. You. Doesn't really matter. Deal with the 2 things that are eternally in play that are annoying. And put in Indestructible 10/10 in play. Which, they are black, they can exile it. It's not unreasonable outcome, but this is the best we've got currently. And it's unfortunate that's the only thing I can do with my Underworld Breach, but I think it's the best thing I can do. Actually, it's really the best thing I can do. I can, like, Starve Extinction. Well, was Starve Extinction better? I don't exile Polukranos, though, that way. And it can come back and be an issue later. So this is slightly better. But otherwise, Starve Extinction blows up this, kills this, and this. So there's something to be said about that. But exiling Polukranos is significant, I think. Because it obviously can come back over and over with Escape. And we don't have Klothys in play to attack the graveyard, so... Yeah, I mean, it stays in graveyard, and we can pick it up later. Alright, so they made it so I can't realistically attack. I did not assess that. We are dead to the board if we don't do what we did. Yeah, that was a mistake, maybe. We could have cracked the treasure token too. Could have used the treasure token and developed a manland so we're not just dead. Alright, I mean, that's fine. I can cast this first. I suppose I will. Can develop a manland first. Put a stop here. There. Let this resolve. Untap all my mana. Take the stop off. Looks like another removal spell to the surprise of no one. That's actually a really good one to see. If I was going to see a removal spell, that's certainly what we want to see there. That's good. We get to see a lot of cards here, which is nice. Alright, we'll start with this. Okay. Cycle this. Okay. Let's get rid of these 2 lands, I think. Really dig in here. I want to double up on my ability to Faithless Looting. Okay. Let's see here. Manland. Alright, so Cleansing Nova. We do have an indestructible threat. We can deal with Garruk now, which is really nice. We have an Abrade, which doesn't really do that much, but it's not terrible, I guess. I don't know. I can Abrade this Cauldron. I don't think I'm going to do it now, and the other creatures in play. It doesn't make any sense. So I'll play this, go to attacks. I'm not going to respect any sort of haste threat. Alright. We have enough mana to cast Zacama again. What do we exile? Toski, not relevant. Vorniclix would have been an issue. It's out of the way. Everything else not really would have been an issue. Let's Faithless Looting now. Rip Apart is good. Pitch these 2. With Rip Apart, I kind of want to blow this up immediately. 2s, 4s. But again, leaving up... we'll see. I don't think they're going to use all their mana this turn, and the ability to leave up manland kind of makes sense as a blocker for some weird nonsense. I don't know. I don't think blowing up 1 land is relevant. You have got to be kidding me. Wait, they cast it, though. Oh, it has... Come on, dude. Are you serious? Well, they shouldn't fight. Oh, they have to fight? What is with this stupid card? Are you serious? I'm just dead to it. That is so annoying. And of course they have the Garruk emblem. It's not enough. I still die. It's got trample. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like I said, I'm not going to respect a haste threat. I wasn't going to do it, but silly me. What do I know? What do I know? I don't know how Magic works. Every time we're against a green creature deck, we just lose to the 3 haste threats that they just magically show up in their hand. That is so annoying. That is so unbelievable. That's the only card in the entire game. That is the only card in the entire game that kills us there. That is it. That's it. There's no other thing that they could realistically run, reasonably run, that kills us. That is obscene. It's so frustrating. Alright, well, we gotta move on. I like this. I think I like this. We have Wrath of God. This is a pretty annoying commander, but we'll see how it fares. See how it fares. I could have just not attacked, I guess, and expected to live against Garruk making tokens for free? I don't know. Alright, whoops. Whoop, gotta play a land first. Alright, get a plane so I can actually cast my stuff. Although we drew a white source, but again, we don't need all those green sources. Play that, do this, do that. Robber the Rich gets value. I guess I just cast the sweeper immediately so I don't die to their stupid commander. They also played a card out of the command zone, not from hand, so they don't get value from Robber. So with that in mind, I will just cast a sweeper. Oh wow, they get some tokens. Alright, we need a second green source. We have it here to cast the second sweeper. Dealt damage, that much damage. Okay, that's fine. I think we have time to ramp here. Yeah, we don't need another green. Alright, so I can cast Zacama next turn and then just win from that. That does not have haste. Also, it doesn't do anything when it dies, so... Whoop. I'm going to get the last plains, I think. Because the more white sources, the better with Zacama life gain. The only thing they can really do that scares me is fire up the den, and I really don't care, because obviously Zacama stops the rest of it dead in its tracks. And we win. Sarkhan? Okay. Yeah, that's, yep, you can do that if you want. Let's do that. Let's flip this white. Untap. Double bolt immediately. Not deal with this nonsense. Seems like a pretty straightforward matchup here. Play this, pass. Alright, so they don't have an answer to Zacama, like, at all. 9 is a lot. It's very tough ask for them to deal with, so... Probably just win when you cast it. Which is kind of cool. We actually have, like, a deck that can beat control and aggro without having to dump a ton of things into either strategy to deal with it. So this is pretty cool. Yep, that's fine. They make it so it can't block. I don't really care. Just kill this. I could have killed this so they couldn't attack at all, but I think this is reasonable. I don't think I even want to block because I don't want this to die. So we're not really in danger of dying here. It's just way too much life. Get to swing, get to gain a bajillion life. I think this game is now over. Opponent realizes it. Oh, yes. Beating the aggro decks. Yes. All right. We're at 3 hours, which is colossal for me to try to upload to YouTube, so I'm going to stop here. I was just having a lot of fun. Zacama's super, super fun. I would argue this is more enjoyable than, like, the Klothys version, because I can play against creatures better, while also having a little bit better hedge against planeswalkers as well. Whereas when we're just playing Klothys as a commander, we didn't have access to white. Actually, I should have just looked at the Klothys list first. Like, you're way more in on the sweepers. On the storm thing, right? Like Grape Shot, all the draw discard, Pyre, and, you know, just the draw discard stuff. Mana Rocks, Harmonize, draw. We could have run Harmonize, but we didn't. Escape the Wilds, kind of similar. Actually, Zendikar's Royal probably shouldn't be in here now that I'm looking at it. It's kind of going against what we're trying to do. We're not doing a bunch of ramp with this, but we had it in there for the time. Probably a mistake, though. I'd take this out if I were to go back to it. And I'm sure I will at some point. Yeah, the mana was fine. But we had access to white. So we didn't have to run, like, current Sweltering Suns. What's the other one? Anger of the Gods? Where's the other 3 mana deal 3? Is there just 2? I thought Anger of the Gods was in this game. Okay, if it's not in this game, then we even have less of a hedge. We had to run things like Demon Bolt to deal with planeswalkers and creatures. But when you're Zacama, you can run white spells, and your creatures, the opponent's creatures are just taken care of with the white cards. And you can do, thus by extension, kind of have your green spells be a bit more into the ramp thing and slow your plan down, as your plan B, quote unquote, with Zacama is a bit up there, or closer to your plan A than it otherwise would be, which is nice. We also have the ability to find Klothys. It is our only graveyard hate. I don't like running inconsistent graveyard hate like Scavenging Ooze. I don't have a way to get Scavenging Ooze unless I'm running Primal Command, but I don't really want to run Primal Command when there's only like 3 creatures to get, especially in matchups where getting that wouldn't be relevant. It just doesn't seem terribly exciting. With that being said, we did play against 2 opponents that were scared of Smothering Tithe, like, irrationally. I don't think we capitalized on it that much, though. It's still, right, like, we won one of those, and then the Garruk players just played a 10-10 haste. Because of course they did. And we lost anyways. If I didn't swing, we might not have been dead there. Usually I wouldn't swing. Like, when I play super conservative, like, control-centric mindset, it's hard for me to swing with something like this, but it is Ulamog. It does put a serious clock. We just got max disrespected with the Terescuscu, whatever, the 9-mana 10-10 hate stupid card. The only card in their deck that kills us, but we could literally beat an opponent. We could beat them playing Ulamog, actually, too. Like, it's just so annoying that, like, every time I play against a green deck, they always have one of the 3 haste threats. It's just irritating, but it is what it is. Maybe lift up to pay for Ward 10. I don't know. Smothering Tithe, outside of those 2 matchups, doesn't... See, but the thing is, every time I play it, people just over-respect it. And they, like, invest mana into it when they might not be a good idea. I can keep it in the deck with that in mind, that our opponents just, like, irrationally, like, pay for it when I otherwise don't need all that mana. I can also just replace it with a mana rock that taps for 2 mana, like Key to the Archive or something, and sort of get the exact same value from it, where I just guarantee an additional 2 mana while also getting it immediately. And with Key to the Archive specifically, I can pick a card to like replace a dead card in hand. So I actually like that. Key to the Archive seems fine. We are an approach deck. The very first game was the only game where it was like somewhat relevant, but it is something we can do, right? Creature-based decks kind of just fold to the sweepers. Mid-range might fold to the sweepers or the value from Zacama, or like the Banefire Storm card advantage nonsense, or Ulamog. And then the control decks might die to Banefire, running out of answers to Zacama, again, Ulamog. Klothys draining them out, Chandra. Where's that noise? I don't know what that noise is. But yeah, all in all, though, it felt really good. I'm not a fan of O-Rings, but Skyclave is like a free one where they don't get the card back. So I really like this card because they just, you O-Ring it forever. I really like that. Obviously way better in probably formats where it stops at like 4 mana on average. This is not one of those formats. People tend to play things that are 5 and up. But it's still something to consider. But if you don't like this card, there's a ton of other things you can run instead of it that do something similar. Or if you don't like that at all, you can do something else entirely. Honestly, we have a lot of answers to artifacts and enchantments. And we have a ton of answers to creatures. So this is only realistically dealing with things that I otherwise can't deal with, which would be planeswalkers. And if they cost more than 4, this is not terribly exciting because the comet kind of deals with the rest. So with that in mind, I actually kind of want to drop it. I think I sold myself. I should be a used vacuum. Yeah, I should be a used vacuum salesman, dude. Door to door. You know how many vacuums I sell? You're like, this vacuum is good. You want to know why? It's because it's better than the one you've got. And they start crying. And let's see, what do we replace it with? Instant sorcery. I was thinking about Teferi's Protection, Heroic Intervention, but we don't have a lot of permanents in play that are like amazing. Protection saves us from hasting massive green threats because we can't take damage. But I'm not going to continuously respect a card that is a 1 in 99 chance of happening. So we're not going to put that in there. I don't think I ended up putting Tormenting Voice in my deck. That is one of the cards that was on my mind. I do like this. I guess this art's better, so we'll do that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Urza's Rage is like a weird Banefire. And by weird, I mean, like, not really great, but... I mean, if you want uncounterable nonsense, that's what you do. But I guess that's fine. What we just put in is fine. Everything else, I mean, it really felt fine, right? Like, if you like this list, if you want to play a creatureless Zacama list, I think this is very good. Better than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Approach, if you don't like this deck... if you don't like this card, you can replace it with something else. I think it's just a looming threat that people seem to almost over-assess. Like, you cast Approach, they don't counter the front half, and then it goes away. Or they counter the front half, and you can pick it up out of your graveyard with Balagate Recovery or Regrowth, and it doesn't care if it resolved the first time. You can cast it the second time, having it gotten countered the first time you cast it, and you'll still win. I've tricked some people with this, where they countered Approach the first time, and then I cast it a second time. They don't counter it because they don't realize that this is actually the second time you cast the spell. It does not indicate if it resolved or not. So you can trip up some blue players with that. Or black if they're like discarding it. So that's kind of funny. But not something you should rely on a ton, but something to take note of. Now that I said it, you might see it less often because people might be aware of it, those who watch my videos. Same with the sweepers. If you think there's too many board wipes in here, there's obviously wiggle room to run different things, maybe 1 or 2 more ramp spells, more value creatures and or planeswalkers, idyllic tutor, and then some weird enchantment that you really like. a lot that you want to run in there a lot, like Elspeth Conquers Death with Idyllic Tutors, reasonable. But I think the amount of sweepers we were running is fine. We actually took some out because there were just too many, or it felt like there was a little bit too many. Although in the mid game, it seemed as though we were just getting unlucky and not drawing them. But still, that's really the white avenue to this. What else? Ramp spells are fine. Draw discard is fine. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. Pushing 3.5 hours. So, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you did and would not run, did and did not like. Like, comment, and please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.